Hey guys, Sean here and welcome to Testing Live, Test 1, Day 2, Final Hour, Watchalong Live. It just rolls off the tongue. It's a great name for a series. Thankfully, just testing live next week. How are we all doing this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you are in the world? Really enjoyed yesterday's stream, so very quickly, thank you so much for your company again. A lot of fun yesterday. Very much looking forward to today. I'll have Jonty with me very shortly. Going to go through all the times from the day so far and the talking points. Then we'll bring Jonty in. And then a little bit later, probably towards the end, if not the end of the session, we're going to do a quick livery ranking. We'll show you ours and you can show us yours. We'll do some polls in the chat. How inappropriate. Some polls in the chat so you can actually rank the liveries live. So should be a bit of fun, but that's a little bit later on, so lots to get through. I'll do some shout outs in a moment in chat, so get your comments in and your names and say hi, and I'll do some shout outs in just a moment. I'll get through all the YouTuber spiel and stuff first. Obviously a little bit later when we get to the live on track footage in about 24 minutes, there won't be any footage here for obvious copyright reasons. The live timing though is provided by the folks over at Multiviewer for F1. Link in the description if you want to download the app. It's free to download, but you will need some sort of F1 TV subscription. So well worth it for the for what you get, not just from Multiviewer by the way, but also the archive is well worth it for £2.29 or whatever it is in the UK per month if you can afford it. So definitely check that one out. Make sure you subscribe if you're new and drop a like as well. Lots to come this week. We're live again tomorrow and live for all 3 days of testing, all day every day next week. So very much looking forward to this week. Seems Multiviewer heard your comments about the track maps. What have I missed? What have I not spotted on the track map? Let me know. Let me know, Yori. I'll do some shout-outs in just a moment. Super quick, we'll run through the morning times. So Charles Leclerc did top the second morning of the first official pre-season test. 134.273, 62 laps for him. He did that on the C3 tyre as well, I believe. I did jot that down somewhere. I've tried to colour code my notes to make it easier, and it's just confused me because I can't remember what colour I used for what. So that was a really smart idea. But I believe it was the medium tyre, the whatever they've done, C3. Yes, it was C3, sorry, for Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris, second half, 64 laps, 61 laps for Pierre Gasly. Ollie Bearman did 55 laps. He was in fourth place. Pierre 2.4 off and Ollie 2.7 off. Alex Albon 2.9 off, 62 laps. Nico Hulkenberg 2.9 off, 47 laps. Liam Lawson 50 laps. Sergio Perez 42 laps. Lawson 3.7 seconds off the fastest time. Sergio Perez 4.3. Fernando Alonso 4.6 seconds off, 55 laps. And then it's 3 laps for Kimi Antonelli and 1 lap for Isack Hadjar. Yes. So your bullet points for the morning. Here we go. Are you ready? Leclerc fastest in the morning session, running the C3. We had a red flag about 10 minutes, I think it was, into the session when Sergio Perez stopped on track for Cadillac. Not the only red flag they've brought out today. More in a second. Red Bull discovered an issue with the car and so didn't complete any laps, really. Just the one, as I say. That was a hydraulic leak, so that cost them basically all the morning. Isack Hadjar, though, at the moment circulating quite nicely, I believe. I'll have a look in just a second on his lappage for the afternoon. Mercedes had a quiet morning too. Antonelli only doing 3 laps before spending the rest of the session in the garage, and actually a full engine change apparently in the M4 Mercedes. So some concerns there. A lot of you said over the winter when people hyping up Mercedes, it's all right if the engine's quick, but what if it's not reliable? First signs of some problems there. McLaren, they seem focused on longer stints this morning, mainly, in fact, actually exclusively running the C1 and C2 tyre. Norris's best lap was on the C2. He did stop at the end of the pit lane towards the end of the morning session. No biggie because he was back out on track pretty much straight away in the afternoon. Hasn't really stopped circulating since, so whatever that was, it was obviously a minor issue. The afternoon so far, we've got Norris, Russell, Hadjar, Leclerc, Lindblad, Alonso, Sainz, Bearman, Bortoletto, Gasly and Bottas in the cars. Busy afternoon in terms of cars on track. We had quite a few cars on track throughout the afternoon, lots of laps as well. But about an hour ago, it all started to kick off. And by kick off, I mean we got a red flag for Gasly, who stopped on track at turn 1. That was, like I say, about an hour ago now. So more concerns there for Alpine. And we had a red flag for Bottas's stray wing mirror, which is, so we haven't seen it yet, so I assume it's flicked off the car, ended up on the track, they've thrown the red flag, so they can recover that. So there are your 2 big talking points of the afternoon. Certainly a busier or more dramatic morning than the afternoon has been so far, but still an hour and 19 or so minutes to go, so plenty of time for things to kick off. I've got some great quotes as well, by the way, to go through in a bit. We've got Lance Stroll, yes, not impressed, saying he believes Aston Martin are 4 to 4.5 seconds off the top teams. And hopefully not just in his hands, I assume he means as a team. Bottas had some interesting stuff to say on Ted's note, but yesterday about overtake mode, which surprised me. And Lewis Hamilton, building on the we're slower than a GP2 car right now that you guys pointed out in chat yesterday, he had a lot more to say about the direction the sport's gone in, so we'll get into that. James Vowles also some interesting quotes as well, so plenty to get into, and we will do that shortly. I'll do some shout outs, then we'll bring Jonty in, we'll talk about the quotes and the comments. Exactly, Callum. 4.5 seconds is a lifetime. If we talk about 1 or 2, you go back to last season when the field was so close, 100th of a second could be the difference between getting knocked out in Q1 and being in the top 10 in that first qualifying session. Maybe exaggerating slightly, but it was so close. 4.5 seconds, they may as well stay at home. I mean, what is the point? So let's see. But let's do shout outs. Professional Moron, hey mate, hope you are well. Navi Pants is here again. Says this is the right place for F1 Addicts Anonymous meeting. It is, yeah. Professional Moron, by the way, says Checo for the title. There you go. Hey to Michael, hey to Annette as well. Hey RC. I'll not read that one, but that made me laugh, RC. I'll give you that one. Hey to Callum again. Hey to Sam Mariners fan. Morning, mate, or afternoon here, but morning to you. Hey to Stuart. Hey Stuart, you're here again. Yo. Very down with the kids. I like that. Yori says in their changing... Sorry. In their change-off for today's update, it says add 2026 straight line and overtake mode to track map. Currently in early preview, but not available testing. Only normal grip for now. Thank you. Yeah, so that they were listening. There you go, Yori. There you go. But I appreciate that. We've got the DRS zones back on there, which is what... Well, no, that's not a DRS. They have added it. Yeah, sorry. You're right, Yori. Yori, you're on the ball. I'm impressed. Hayton Neil says, what happened to Audi? I don't see them on the board. We'll get into that. I'll go and find out. I mean, Hulkenberg's up there and Bortoletto, so they're lapping okay at the minute. So all okay, I think. Hey to Sighted Canvas. Hey to Jonty. So I'll get you in a minute, mate. Sighted Canvas says, hello everyone. Work is not stopping me today. Did you quit in the end, or did you did you think paying bills was probably preferable? It's just a thought. And hey to Red Raven as well says, good afternoon, and I am with Sighted Canvas on that work thing. There you go. I'm not going to encourage people to hate work, but you know. And Luke says, what happened to F1 Word YouTube? We'll go over that a little bit later, Luke. I think I'm going to do a little video. I wrote some notes down last night, and I think it comes in at about 3.5 minutes, so I might do that for the other channel, so you can all get an update over there. I do apologise for not saying more over there rather than just leaving you all guessing. That's just me being naive, but I will sort that. Hey to Valentine as well. Hey to Marta, and hey to Pascal. I hope you're all having a cracking day so far, and I've been enjoying keeping an eye on what's going on. Stuart's messaging me. Sorry, I won't read it. Don't worry. Okay, there we go. We'll have a chat with Stuart. I'll chat with you about that later, Stuart. Sorry, you threw me off. I was like, what's happened? Stewie as well. Hey, Stewie. Hope you're having a good one. So let's... Now, this is where I hope this works, okay? I have to click the right button. It's a miracle. I am going to have to try that again. And we're going to have to go into camera mode, turn camera on. Hopefully now, if I press this button, Jonty, this should all work. And you might even be able to see my bloody beautiful face.
I can.
You can. How exciting is that? Now I've got to turn off the picture on screen so they can see yours. Working in both. It's almost like, and this is the scary thing as I try to find a picture so we can see your face. I need to close that as well. There's Jonty. Hi, Jonty. It's almost as if Google exists and I could have just Googled it and found the answer. Who knew?
Hey, you got it working.
It's all working. There we go.
For a second.
We're all good. How are you? I think his first question. How are you? And also, what have you been keeping an eye on in testing this year so far? What's caught your eye? That Audi is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a funny looking thing. It wasn't. I mean, I didn't think we'd see anyone go that route after the disaster that Mercedes had, but there's clearly something to it. It is weird. But I can't really see past the livery at the moment. It's just.
We said it, didn't we? It'd be if they're just a bit of a gradient. Even just that would improve that. But it's just no. But yeah, car's fascinating. So that's something. We will definitely do liveries later. But where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Hamilton stuff? Because that seems to have got... I looked on Blue Sky before it posted the link, and I was like, oh, John said the same as me. That's concerning.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a worry. I will read the quotes. Well, I'll say super quickly. There's quite a few quotes here, so I'll read exactly what I've written. So I might go into news mode here. So as Chat pointed out yesterday, he did say that we are slower than a GP2 car right now. The field as a whole, not just Ferrari. It says like Monza downforce everywhere. He then said on Lyco that drivers need to reduce their throttle use at parts of the circuit in order to conserve electrical energy. That's not a surprise. But he says if you look at Barcelona, for example, we're doing 600 meters of lift and coast on a qualifying lap. That's not what racing is about. He then goes on to talk about Bahrain specifically, which has more low-speed corners than Barcelona, and says here we are not having to do that because there's a lot of braking zones. But then goes on to explain that because they need to recover battery power, they're having to drop into lower gears and rev the car higher where they wouldn't normally, just to try and recover a bit of extra power. He then is a little bit critical again and says that the complexity of the energy management systems now, fans will struggle to understand it, saying, as an example, that he, quote, sat in a meeting the other day and they're talking us through it. It's like you need a degree to fully understand it all. But the big standout quote there, 600 meters of lift and coast. I know Ferrari were doing that a lot last season, but not 600 meters. If that's more about qualifying, I think is a concern there, Jonty. Over one lap, if you're having to do 600 meters of Lyco on a qualifying lap, he's right. He is right. That is not what racing is about.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, out of curiosity, I just did the sums. That's 12.8% of a lap of Catalonia.
Bloody hell.
12.8% of lift and coast. That's insane. It really is a big worry. I mean, I'm sure throughout this testing and next week, teams will do a lot of more figuring out of how to sort of refine the energy management. But until then, it's everyone should be worried because that's bad. And that's at Barcelona. Think about other tracks, or even just parts of other tracks. As you mentioned, like Spa, you are flat out from turn 1 all the way to Le Combe. Jeddah is basically 3 braking zones for the whole thing. Monza, in Christ, they brake for the 2 chicanes, and there's a bit of a feather on the brake for Lesmo and Parabolica. The rest of it's just flat out.
Stuart's just mentioned Qatar in chat.
Yeah. Baku?
Yeah.
I mean, Baku's got lots of braking points, but full flat out for 2 kilometers non-stop. Surely that's going to be clipping anyway. And we've seen little onboards from yesterday of cars clipping at Bahrain. That's with the braking zones that they've got. It could get messy, and this is exactly what the private test was meant to sort out.
Did well then. You couple that as well, don't you, with the fact that they're already saying, or I think it was Ayu Komatsu said, that on an outlap in qualifying, they're going to have to drive so slowly and conserve so much energy so that they don't run out halfway around the lap on a flying lap. I know there'll be people in chat that go, well, it works in World Endurance. That's fine, but this isn't endurance racing. This is Formula One. It's not endurance racing. So if it was, then maybe it'd be more acceptable. But I should say, again, 600 metres lift and coast in his Ferrari. I'm sure other teams are doing similar numbers, but then you look at what Max Verstappen's doing down the straights in particular, and his impressive. I mean, I'll just find James Vowles' quote because he said something really interesting about Red Bull, which sort of ties into this. And he said he thinks Red Bull's advantage is close to 6/10 rather than a full second, and that's 6/10 pretty consistently. He says, quote, into turn 1, we can't get anywhere close to them. Their speed into turn 1 is mightily impressive, and then goes on to say, just as an aside, pretty strong in what they've achieved, referring to building PU program from scratch. So Red Bull maybe not having to do the lifting and coasting that, say, Ferrari are having to do, but they're going to have to a point because they need the energy. They need to recover that energy, don't they? So if Red Bull have got the advantage at the moment in that area, which it sounds like James Vowles is saying they probably do, it is doable. But I'd really love to know, I guess is my point, what numbers they've got for Lyco. Is it 400 metres? Is it 300? Is it 500? I don't think Red Bull will tell us. They're not that sort of team. They're probably not going to. But 600 metres is wild to me. Did you say 12.8% of the lap in Barcelona?
Yeah.
That's mad. Absolute madness.
Yeah, and people are right. We do need to be cautious because this is still very early. And it could well produce some really exciting sort of situations, really strategic situations where you've even got battles over the course of one lap on who can save and manage energy for this part or that part. You know, it genuinely could be entertaining that way. But I think we still should be concerned about the way this is going. And the problem is, if it ends up being a disaster, what can they do about it? Not a lot.
No.
That's the biggest issue.
Nothing. Not certainly not for this season. We'll get it tomorrow night later because Ted Kravitz did some digging and had some info in his notebook that's important for Mercedes. We'll get onto them in a bit. But a couple of comments in chat. Neela says the race noted that Max is regenning more effectively into corners by keeping the revs high, using low gears into corners, which others aren't doing. That's what Lewis was saying, that they are going to have to start doing that because it's the only way they can recover the energy at certain tracks. I mean, there are going to be tracks. I mean, I shouldn't imagine, and maybe this is a controversial statement, I can't imagine that it's going to be too much of a problem at, say, Monaco. But it's going to be quite a hefty issue. I mean, thinking about Canada, that long run from the hairpin all the way to the final chicane. That's quite a long drag, isn't it, as well? So it's going to be that's going to be interesting. Luke says, I want to know the mathematical equation, that's a mouthful, between tyre saving and battery recharging. Will there be tyre saving snooze fests anymore, or will races be default 3 stoppers? And I saw somebody else mention, Red Raven's right, saying urge caution. John's already touched on that one. I mean, whatever we're saying on testing now, Toto Wolff says this, Lewis Hamilton says that, Max Verstappen says the other. Just take every single thing with a good pinch of salt, because it's all part of the political mind games at this stage of a season. So it's why Max Verstappen today apparently was on, or was it? Yes, no, it was yesterday, was on a really good lap, and then all of a sudden his final few corners were quite slow, and his lap time wasn't that impressive in the end. And you think, okay, we're playing those games already, are we? So, that's it is concerning, but again, a little bit of caution. But you don't want to hear that from... I mean, I say political games. Maybe I'm being naive, I don't know. But Lewis Hamilton doesn't strike me as somebody who would play those political games quite as much as, say, Toto Wolff would, a team boss. Like a driver wouldn't play them quite as much as a team boss, is what I'm saying, really. So maybe there is quite a bit of truth in there. But it has made me nervous. But I'm hoping that you and Red Raven and co can... calm those concerns for me, to be honest, Jonty. But we'll see what happens. I just don't want to end up too close to Formula E racing, because if I wanted to watch Formula E racing, I'd go and watch Formula E. So,
as long as they can sort out the regen, it'll be fine, because the additional battery storage they've got, it could be really, really high pace. It's just they can't keep it full.
Yeah. So is this something that could be sorted?
That's what they need to work out. Yeah.
A bit like porpoising in 2 years, we look back and go, it's all fine, I don't know what we're worried about.
As Neil Balloon said, like, for next year, they could steal Formula E's front axle regen. Which, that'd be fine. See, no problem with that. Regenning basically double the amount into every braking zone.
Yeah.
And I know... It sounds a lot of doom and gloom. We're just speculating on the information we've got.
Yeah,
that's all we can go on at the moment.
That's the beauty of these streams. We could make stuff up if you like, but we're not going to. We're not that type of channel. We never have been. We tell you what we know, and then we give our opinion, and then we look really stupid in 3 months' time. But it's why you're all here.
Although
really.
It's funny you mention. It's funny you say like Monaco will probably be fine. Canada, that's drag from the last corner, but. Canada's got a lower average corner speed than Monaco, which is always wild. It's actually got a few pretty heavy braking zones.
Well, the hairpin itself.
Kind of dotted around the lap, so you're all right. And you got, is it 5, 6, and 8, 9? The two sort of almost tight enough to be chicanes, but are they quite chicanes? I'm not sure. Through the trees.
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, I've just trying to picture the map in my head.
They've both got. They're still quite high speed, but there's a couple of fairly heavy stops there, and turn 1, and the last chicane. So that one would be fine.
Yeah,
maybe we should go through all the tracks, see which one's the concern.
I hadn't thought of Baku until you said it, because the thing with Baku is that is a long blast.
It's lots of stops.
But it is 90 left, 90 right, isn't it? So it should be okay. Bahrain, maybe not.
Suzuka. Suzuka's a hell of a lot of medium speed, sort of cruising around, feathering throttle as opposed to actually braking, apart from turn 1, Degnas, hairpin. Actually, they're quite spread out.
Yeah, but even turn 1 isn't that heavy braking. I mean, it's what you get. Well, turn 2 really technically, isn't it? Is fairly, and even the hairpin's not as heavy braking as it used to, because they take the wider line out now, don't they? So the final chicane is everything, isn't it? Because you're going all the way from sort of feathering the brake through Spoon, and then all the way down through 130R into the chicane, then off you go again, aren't you? So that's quite heavy braking.
Yeah, like how much regen do those medium speed things where there's a little bit of brake as opposed to a big stop generate? We don't know yet.
I've got to be honest. I'm never going to lie, but I'm such an old school head that I'm happy to have these conversations, but this is not where I wanted F1 to go. I didn't want to be having to have these conversations. And I know it's part of motorsport. I know they need to evolve, net zero, and all of that. I totally get it, but it's like, I'm gonna just watch the racing and what happens. I'm not gonna focus on what's left in the cars, what power they've got. I'm just gonna go, they're stopping. Why? Oh crap, their battery's out or whatever. But yeah, I just go racing.
Stuart says it's really going to change things up from track to track, and that could be the thing that's really, really exciting, because you've got tracks that are so wildly different in their profile and how many big stops they've got, where the big stops are, that you could actually see, sort of, say we've got a team that's got really good power output and high capacity storage, that they can use in the battery, but they don't regen that much. They don't regen as well as others. They're going to be awesome on the tight, slower, twisty tracks. But then you've got a team that they've managed to get tons of regen, but they're not quite as good at getting the power out. They might actually be better on the long, high speed stuff because they can keep that power going for longer. Who knows? Could we see, certain cars dominating on some tracks and completely different ones on other ones, but with like a wild swing? So someone at the top on one and 10th in the other. Certainly could be possible.
Just super quickly, two things. MSC Bars, I've moved the plaque. I've tilted it up because I got a message yesterday saying that apparently the mirror in the YouTube award thing was reflecting a TV. And he was like, be careful, FOM might come for you. So I've tilted it up so the mirror's facing what you'll probably only be able to see the tyres on the wall now. Secondly, as well, I've put a little key on screen for the tyres because the ones they're running on track are different colours to the ones on the graphic. So the graphic is very hard, medium, soft, whereas the C3 on track is yellow and the C2 is no markings and the C1 is white. So I thought I'd just put a C1, C2, C3 there so you know what each is on the graphic, and it's different to TV. So that's all on there. But I just thought I'd just mention that. I do want to talk about this as well. I'll take some comments from chat first, actually. Stuart, we've had this conversation before in messages, haven't we? He says, honestly, I think the last rule set could have gone on 10 years if they kept on top of the dirty air. We talked about this, and maybe we'll do it again next week, but I never understand, Ross Brawn, when they came up with what was the 2021 rules, became the 2022 rules, said that the FIA and F1 was setting up a group that would monitor teams getting through loopholes and then closing them loopholes, and then they just stopped doing it. If they carried that on, we probably would have had, because 2022 was a good season. Yes, Max eventually went on to dominate it, but the racing was better. They could get closer. They could follow. Dirty air was less. And then over the years, they just managed to get dirty air picked up again and doing what F1 teams do. So I agree. I think that's something that could, if they'd managed it properly, been a better, because I quite like those rules. I'm not a fan of the flicky uppy bits all over the car that are going to end up everywhere. Although you did say yesterday, Jonty, more punctures, so I guess that adds variety. So that's something. Hopefully not too bad, though. What else we got in chat about this one? So the run from the post, Degner hairpin through the final chicane at Suzuka will be quite painful. Spoon curve is like braking, says Neelish. Biles says that this year will probably be more diverse than next year's because engine mapping will need to be understood for event track to get the most out of the electrical power. Next year it'll be familiar, and I saw people find the quickest way. In the end, this is a lot of physics, and that can be managed with new driving techniques. And Red Raven says, call me naive if you wish. Not concerned, but to me, that just means the development ceiling is higher, which could turn the season nicely, twisting and turning. I mean, if you add that to the aero development as well, it could be quite a crazy development war this year, which is a lot of fun. By the way, we can see cars on track now. Sky have just kicked in, so we'll be able to keep an eye on what's going on. I've got to say, apart from those notes I told you from the morning and a couple of red flags this afternoon, it's not really been a particularly thrilling day. Not that testing ever is. I've not even got anything on the doodle board because I didn't spot anything massively new this morning that caught my eye, but I will have another look because I'll have a look at Matt Summers, Summers F1 Substat that he'll put out after the day and see what's spotted. So they're just showing Sergio Perez stopping on track a little bit earlier this morning. Bottas in the other Cadillac did actually lose a wing mirror at one point. I'm sure they'll show that one. So on Bottas, by the way, while we're talking about energy recovery and that, he was saying to Ted yesterday in the notebook that overtake mode will actually be pretty much automated. So once the driver is within 1 second of the car ahead, they'll just have access to more power. So it is not a boost button style thing as such. So the car will just have more power, which I didn't realise that was a thing. Whether that's a Cadillac specific thing and that's the way they're doing it, I don't know. So that was interesting to me. I prefer that over a boost button.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any regulation to say either way on that. I would prefer a button.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's comparing series and we shouldn't compare series because they're different, but IndyCar does it perfectly. Literally perfect. They have a button that make them go faster and they have this much to use in the race. End of story.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It really is. It's all on the driver for when they can use it, because they can use it anywhere they like. And they can use it any time they like, as far as I'm aware, unless they've changed that. I can't remember.
Stuart says
overtake. Yeah, it's all on the drive.
Overtake mode and the boost button are different things, I think. But I'm just reading what Bottas said. He referred to it as overtake mode, so whether he means the boost mode, but he calls it overtake mode. Because drivers aren't always going to stick to the terminology, are they? So I might be a little bit... But the semi-automated thing, he said it'll be semi-automated. They'll just have access to more power. That, to me, screams boost button, or the boost. Whereas overtake mode is all your wings flapping all over, isn't it?
No, that's straight line mode.
Oh, I fucking hate the way they've gone with this series. Do you know? Excuse my language. Just, Jesus, stick a V10 in the back of the bastards.
It goes back when was the first one?
That's a clip for you, Eru, by the way.
When was 2011 was the first year for KERS, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
2010, 2011. One of them. It's like, we've got the terminology. It's been there for 15 years. Just DRS. KERS. Winner.
Yeah, well, KERS worked. I liked KERS. It was completely decided by the driver. They could use it to defend. They could use it to attack. I'm going to read them. I've got them on the website, so I am going to totally rip off F1.
2009. Jesus.
Was it 2009? Oh, no, you're right. 2009, some drivers had it and some didn't they? Some teams didn't want to carry the extra weight. Yeah, that was it. Right. I'm over my meltdown. Boost button. As has been the case for several years now, drivers can press a button at any point over the course of a lap to activate energy deployment. From 2026, this will be known as the boost button. When engaged, it will trigger a change in power unit power settings. This is what Bottas was talking about then. Either returning to maximum power or profile configured by the team as per their personal choice, which would be, I guess, semi-automated, wouldn't it, in a way? The boost could, in theory, either help them defend from a car behind or attack from a car ahead, providing they have saved enough energy. It can be used all at once or spread across the lap, like KERS, depending on when they have the best chance to attack or where they are most vulnerable. Overtake mode, this is new for 2026. It's a performance aid designed to deliver closer racing and boost overtaking opportunities. It can only be activated when a driver is within 1 second of the car in front at the detection point, which is nominally the final corner. It allows a driver to recharge an extra 50 megajoules. That took me a second. 0.5 megajoules, not 50. Fucking hell. Generate an additional electrical power profile, they'll be on the moon, to allow them to sustain a higher speed for a longer period. Recharge, we know what recharge is. We've worked that out. Active aero is your flappy wings and stuff. So there you go. So that, I hope that clears that up. But going back to KERS would make more sense to me if we had to have a boost button. So there you go. Bottas is right. I got my terminology mixed up, not the first time, and that's going to happen a lot this season. So this could be one of those years where Sean literally just watches the cars on track and doesn't bother with what's going on around it, because that's all confusing enough for me. It's what I think, to be fair, Jonty, jokes aside and sarcasm and digs at the sport aside, I think once we've seen it all in action for a couple of races, it'll soon click, because things do, don't they? Yeah. So, but right now it's just... yeah, they could. I still feel like they could have just kept it as DRS as a name. It would have done.
Yeah, because that's exactly what it is doing. The only difference is it's doing it at the front and the back. Like,
yeah, and it is still a drag reduction system.
And what it was already doing. Yeah, there's no need to change the name of that. unless they're trying to get away from sort of, even though it's relatively simple, but technical terminology to try to be more accessible to people.
That's true, Stuart. At least we're not calling it X mode and Z mode or Z mode, whatever the pronunciation is in British English. Z mode.
Oh, that was the original idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have preferred that, because at least you can just attribute a single letter to a single thing, so you can't confuse them.
Yeah, no, I get because boost, overtake, you'd think would be similar things or the same thing, wouldn't you? But they're not. So, look, once it's all happened, once we've watched it all, it'll be fine. And again, Biles makes a great point in chat. When the racing is good, I'm watching. It's that simple in the end. There you go. Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah, and like you say, after
great sentence,
a couple of races, it'll become automatic. We'll know what's going on. We said the same thing about the change to the tyres. Just having white, yellow, and red. Yeah. For every race. I mean, we complained about it. Frankly, I still don't like it personally, because
I still complain about it.
Of tyres was great. But it became automatic. We understood what they were going on about straight away.
Yeah. 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 That's it. I understood the rainbow better. It made more sense to me because every tyre had a name, so we knew that if they're on the ultra soft, they're on the ultra soft. If they're on the super hard, they were super hard. But what a stupid name. Whereas C1, C2, C3, 1 week the C3 is the soft, the next week it's the hard. I just preferred the super hard to ultra soft, but that's just my opinion. So, speed traps. Someone mentioned speed traps in the chat there, so I'll just quickly. Sheriff says Russell and Leclerc, one of the fastest cars on the straight, 315 and 314. Best speed traps so far today. George Russell, 336 kilometers an hour, closely followed by Charles Leclerc on 334. So they're your fastest speed traps at the moment. I should say as well, by the way, just to let you know, testing is happening. Leclerc, Bortoletto, Norris, Sainz and Hadjar on track. Russell just going through the pit lane. Leclerc still fastest, 94 laps so far. Norris has done 105 laps so far today. Bearman not far behind, 104. Actually, do you know, saying that, Jonty, Haas with the shakedown and yesterday and today really impressing me in terms of their lappage. They really are pumping in the laps. That's good to see. It's reliable and it's a good car by the look of it, from what we could tell so far. Long old way to go, of course. But I'm just trying to see who's... Bottas stood 39. Go on, Jonty. What have we spotted?
Oh, sorry, you mentioned the speed trap, so I just thought I'd go and check up. And the maximum speed from Grand Prix last year in Bahrain was Leclerc in quali with 327.3.
Oh, okay.
So straight line speed, that's a fair jump.
That's your flaps, isn't it?
We should expect that. Yeah, we should expect that with the change in the drag reduction. Just a case of where they're hitting that along the straight with the battery issues. Yeah, they get into that much sooner and then just sitting there.
What did you make of the Alpine rear wing? I'm just trying to look at... there's Gasly, 320 kilometers an hour. So still a bit down, but they might not be running their engine at full power. But I'm right in saying that without that upper flap, that should reduce drag further, shouldn't it? Because it's just a flat wing. In theory.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the Alpine rear wing. I think it's fantastic. It just looks cooler. Sorry, it does.
And it's nice to see something different. We like to see things different, don't we? Or done differently. So, not to...
and I think it makes
against that.
I think it makes a little bit more sense as well. It hinged at the bottom and then it drops down backwards. If you've got the top flap lifting up, yes, it's going flat, so it's not creating as much drag, but it's still a thing there in the way. It will still be creating some drag, however little.
Alonso with the moment at 7 and 8.
Flop it down out of the way, then there's completely nothing there. I think it's more logical, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm just watching the Aston Martin. Yeah, no, it does. Stuart just said in chat that the rear wing seems to close more slowly rather than snapping shut. They have just showed a slow-mo replay, which might exaggerate that slightly, but that's an interesting spot. I wonder why. Well, yeah. I mean, if it's 4.5 seconds slower than... I mean, let's talk about that then, Jonty, actually, while we're talking Aston Martin. Lance Stroll's comments, let's read this. Not impressed is what I've written here as my summary. Said that although it's not possible to know what fuel those teams are running, and of course, on top of that, the programs they're on, he believes Aston Martin are 4 to 4.5 seconds off the top teams, and then said, quote, now we need to try and find 4 seconds of performance. Is that a little bit of testing politics and playing down chances quite dramatically? Is that because Lance Stroll is just quite slow, or is that, as a driver I should say, or is that Hondaing again? Is that a concern? Bearing in mind yesterday they had some sort of mechanical issue which we've not really been told much of, other than they saw some anomalies in data and decided not to take any risks. A little bit concerning for Honda at this stage.
I don't think we can read too much into that. I mean, there's no way they're that much slower. There really isn't. Not in real pace. I mean, look at... you know what I mean? And it's Lance. As much as people hate on him and he does a lot of stupid things, he's not the greatest driver, and he is going to do whatever Daddy tells him. You know, it's quite easy. He could have been told to go out and say that.
Yeah,
and he would.
But why? I totally agree. It could be political. It could be him being told to say that. But why would you go with 4 to 4.5 seconds? Why wouldn't you say, oh, we're about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds off? Because 4 to 4.5 sounds so extreme that it's either an absolute disaster or a completely unbelievable statement. So it's not really, it doesn't work for me as politicking. Is that a word? It is now. I mean, Alonso's 4.6 off today, but that doesn't mean anything. It's testing. Lindblad's 5.4 off. Bottas is 6.8 off. So, and I highly doubt that George Russell is 2.1 seconds slower than a Ferrari. So, you know, we can't read much into it, but I don't... If you're going to turn around and say, oh, our car is... We've got some racing here, sort of. Leclerc overtaking Carlos Sainz into the final corner. But, yeah, if you're going to say we're down, you'd sort of say 1.5, 2 seconds, wouldn't you? Why would you go 4.5, unless, of course, you want to grab the headlines and get eyes on your car, I suppose. But it's weird. Red Raven said it's still within 107%. So it's still be allowed to race. But this...
Yeah, I mean, that's a clear... I mean, when was the last time... Was it HRT the last time a car didn't make 107?
On actual pace, yeah. We've had cars not make 107 because of retirements and things like that, haven't we? But not on actual pace. It would have been an HRT, I would have thought. I can't think, because they were dreadful, utterly dreadful. My God, that Red Bull looks good on track under the lights. Sorry, it really does. I'd be happy for that to be a championship contending car this year if we got to see that at the front.
I'm very happy they're all glossy now.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. A matte finish or a satin finish does look good. It does really look good, but there's just something extra special about shiny Formula One cars.
It's true, especially the Ferrari. There should be a law that all Ferraris should always be glossy. Always. We are going to talk liveries, like I say, in a bit, so I won't get into the Ferrari livery, but quite why they've gone with as much white as they have, I don't know. But there you go. We've done our rankings. From what I saw, Jonty, they're not too dissimilar. There are a few that we might debate, but I've been intrigued to see which way chat goes. The McLaren is literally a MasterCard car now. Do not rule out anything. We live in a parallel world these days, says Red Raven. I'm saying Ferrari is the strongest car, says Luke, as of now, assuming a compression trip from Mercedes will be outlawed by Australia. Well. Interesting. Ted's notebook yesterday, he said, and it's sort of a paraphrasing, but it is basically the quote. It was a long, it's like he's worse than me for rambling, is Ted. And that says something. He said, the FIA does not look like they will get involved in anything controversial, and so it is expected they will say the Mercedes engine is legal and the way the rules are written are not going to change this year, but they could for next season. That's what Ted says. So the gossip around the paddock, take it with a pinch of salt, is the FIA won't rule it illegal and won't make any changes to the way the rules are written until next season at the earliest. And I'm sorry if you're not a Mercedes fan, and I'm sorry if you hate the idea or you see them as cheating, but that is the right decision. You cannot, as the FIA, regardless of what bitching the teams are doing, you cannot sit with Mercedes at every stage of engine development and say, yes, that's legal, yes, that's legal, yes, that's legal, and then 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the season say, it's illegal, you need to redevelop that. That is so ridiculous, especially in the cost cap era. So it was never going to change. Maybe Ted's wrong, maybe the gossip is wrong, it might change, supermajority votes and all of this, whatever they're called, but you can't go doing that 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the season. That's absolutely ludicrous. So and it will end up in court, and if it ends up in court, what will happen is nothing changes because it's gone to court. Mercedes have their season, they keep all their points, and at the end of it all, if they win it, great, they keep their points. If they lose it, the FIA won't go back and retrospectively do anything. So it's a completely pointless argument. Leave it for now. Make the changes for next year so that Mercedes can't do it. That gives them a year to develop something new. And I mean, I just don't see why, you know, all these incredibly clever people, as the FIA are talking about, you know, getting sort of through loopholes or reading the rules in a certain way that works. All these clever people, why can't the clever people at Ferrari do that, or Audi or Honda? That's on them, not on Mercedes. That's a them problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing to DAS, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn, a team's made a really clever thing that we didn't expect and didn't completely rule out. But like you say, it's so far into proceedings that to ban it would just eliminate that team from the year, which would have massive legal ramifications with regards to money.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to the money loss of basically kicking Mercedes out, and the legal battle that would then ensue would be so damaging and so costly. It's just not going to happen.
It's an interesting situation as well, because they've not exploited a loophole, have they? They've followed exactly what the regulations say. Yeah. Your car will be measured in cool static conditions, and it must be 1:16. There's nothing to say they can't run it at 1:18 on track. So it is a loophole, but what Mercedes have exploited isn't, because that's where the regulations say the car will be measured. So as long as it hits 1:16 when it's tested, it's legal. So what happens out on track probably shouldn't be irrelevant, but it is at the moment. So I don't see it as cheating. I think it's a clever way of interpreting the rules, which is to follow them. And I think that it's a little bit of the typical salt, if you like, that comes with the teams that go, oh, why didn't we think of that? And they should have thought of that. These are supposed to be people that spot these things. And I'm saying the line again, Jonty, it comes out every year several times, as Ron Dennis says, rather than, I'll paraphrase slightly, rather than bitching to the FIA, why don't you rise to the technical challenge? That's what F1's about. Exactly.
And as people, Hatbrust, Gingerfest say, you know, quite right. It's not just Mercedes, because that would also be McLaren and Williams.
Yeah.
So like,
they don't get a vote, though.
The reigning champions and the leading, and, you know, the favourite for this season. You're not going to be able to do that.
No. Not and keep everyone happy. I also appreciate anyone tuning in for the first time seeing me in a Mercedes shirts going, oh, Mercedes fan channel. It's literally because I love the merch. I just buy the t-shirts I like. It's nothing to do with the team. So that's not what this is. I am very much a Ferrari fan and would love Ferrari to have come up with this themselves, but they didn't, because they're stupid. They're not stupid. They're very clever people, but they don't always get it right. Hence 600 metres of Lyco, I suppose. But there you go. Leave it as is.
And this has come from another aspect of Formula One, the FIA in general, where they still don't seem to understand what the words representative testing means. Like, it's the same reason that flexi wings was always a problem. Because it's like, right, the way we're going to test it is we're going to park your car here and we're going to put some weights on the end of the wing. That's not how it will ever function under any circumstance. And it's also the reason that Joe had that terrifying crash in Silverstone when the roll hoop snapped off.
Yeah, good point.
And they increased the loads of what they were doing, but it's still not a relevant test. It's like, we're going to apply a much bigger load over the course of 30 seconds, and then it's got to hold that for 10 seconds. Like, that's not how crashes work. When was the last time you saw a crash that took 30 seconds to happen? It's impact, it's shock. Like, you could, in theory, have that bit glued on the top, which can take 5, 6, 7 tons for 30 seconds, but then you can come along and snap it off with a sledgehammer. And that's the impact it's going to take, because they just don't do the relevant tests. And it boggles my mind that such a massively important and technically amazing sport and governing body and what have you can't seem to see this. And it's exactly why the tyres blew up in Baku 4 years ago. Because of that new compound where they made them stronger and then didn't redo the testing with the heavier sideballs. And oh, look, that's a hell of a lot more force. Sorry, I'm ranting now.
No, you're all right. No, I just listened to you ranting. It's interesting stuff that I would have come up with. So I always forget about Joe's crash. That was a horrible crash. The Hatprus says, I have to say, AMG HPP is pretty badass, separate from Mercedes F1. It's James Vowles said as well when he was interviewed that that's the reason they were so quick at Williams to renew their Mercedes deal, because they knew with the new regulations coming in for 26 that if you want to, if you're going to back a horse in that kind of development, look at 2014, for example, and others when they were just a customer supplier, I guess. Mercedes are very good at reading the regulations a certain way, interpreting them, and getting the best out of those regs. So it's look, it's innovation. We all want innovation in F1, but as soon as it goes against someone's favourite team or somebody didn't come with themselves and they don't like it, everyone starts having a hissy fit, whereas they should be just getting on with it and developing it themselves. But this, like you say, Das was a great example, Jonty. It's not the first time I had a great example, but that was a great example. It'll be something that is illegal from next year completely, and they'll measure it in a different way. Yeah. But for this year, you can't. Stuart said it in chat. You can't go 3 weeks before Melbourne and say you need to redevelop this thing you've spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on and still comply with the cost cap. Because then, like you say, you are potentially pitching Mercedes, McLaren, and Williams down the pack. Having said that, there is a part of me that would quite like this to go the way it did with party modes. Not the same thing, but where they issue some sort of technical directive and then everyone goes, that stopped Mercedes, they've got no chance now, and then they rock up to Belgium and lock it out the front row, and it turns out party modes had nothing to do with it. So it would be quite funny if they actually turned out the power unit is just very good regardless of what they're running it at, but we're not going to find that out, so that would be quite funny. But that was a good one. I saw somebody else mention Cited Canvas says, Horner said change your funky car. Nice paraphrasing. They did, and now they're complaining. But people don't like Horner, but I'm going to say he was right. Yes, that was all for the cameras for Drive to Survive, but he's right. If your car's porpoising too much, change your funky car. If your car isn't running at 118 out on track, change your funky power unit. That's on you.
Now, do you think he changed his tune with regard to that after 2009?
Yes. Very much
when
so.
He spent 3 or 4 races constantly whining and moaning about the double diffuser, and then had to go and make one anyway. And it turns out if they'd just done that immediately, oh look, they'd have walked to the title.
Yeah.
But all that faffing around, whinging, oh look, you lost by the narrowest of margins.
Imagine if we kept banning all this innovation there. We'd never have had that day when we first saw Das and all our heads fell off. We'll never have had the double diffuser. We'd never have. Think of all the stuff we'd have missed out on in F1 history. Even the X-wings, they were dangerous and they were daft, but it was innovation. That stupid little front wing on the front of the arrows. On the nose. That was so ridiculous. How the drivers sing, I don't know, but we want to see that. Even if it is dangerous and has to be banned on safety grounds, let them do it. Open up the rules, let them do it, and we've got It's not really I was going to say a 3-car race, but it's testing. It's not, is it? We've got 3 cars with all their flaps flapping. Russell, Norris, and Sainz down the run to turn 11, I believe. They've renumbered those a few years ago. It's confused me. 10 and 11. Yeah, that was 3 cars on track, all with their flaps flapping. I hate the name I hate the word flaps, but there you go. Stuart says all cars must look identical. That's the spirit of F1. Yeah. I sense your sarcasm. I'm still not convinced that Das was only about tyre temps, as a hat Preston. Red Raver says, to be fair, if I recall correctly, Das was a bit blown out of proportion because there was literally nothing else to talk about in pre-season. I think there's an element of that, and because it was probably something different. But Das is not the reason they won. Das was not the reason Mercedes performance. It would have helped them, of course it did, but that car was just good anyway. So it was great. It was great. Stuart also says, I hope we get a graphic when the cars are in overtake boost mode, as there's no clear visuals like DRS. There's not much on. I think Multiview are still, they'll be doing updates all winter, won't they, now, ready for the new season once all data comes through and that, but there's nothing really on there to sort of say who's doing what with flaps.
Well, one thing they could do for that is like they could put LEDs on the halo that are blue most of the time, but when they go into the overtake boost mode, it could go pink.
Yeah,
that's completely new. No one's done that.
Please stop trying to turn it into Formula E. Stop it. Where are we at? So we're caught to the half hour now. Norris with a lock up at turn 10. He is following, I think it's Sainz he's following here, so gets in a bit of dirty air. A lot of locking up at this corner anyway. No, it is. It's Russell very close to the back of him. And by close, I mean testing close. But yeah, a little bit of a lock up there. All good. Lots of cars going straight on there. I'll just run through the times quickly, Jonty, if that's all right, just for anyone dropping in to catch up on that. So here we go. Looking forward to this for 8, 16, 24 hours next week. Charles Leclerc, 134.273, top of the morning session, is still top as of now. 129 laps so far, by the way, today. Not quite as impressive as Lando Norris in second on 140 laps. 134.7, his fastest time. We'll go through tyres a little bit later because I haven't got any reliable data on those at the moment. Ollie Bearman, 135, 321 laps in third place. So 3 drivers already in the hundreds. We've still got another half hour to go. George Russell fourth on 135.4, 1.1 off the pace, 53 laps for the afternoon, 97 laps for Gasly all day, 136.723. Hadjar's in all day. I will say 136.8, but that is a really good recovery from Hadjar, given he did 1 lap this morning. That's 75 on the board, so that's 74 this afternoon. Good to see him having a good run out there. Bortoletto in the Audi, which is marked red on the timing screen, which needs to change, ideally F1 before the season starts, because it's 2 Ferrari red. 57 laps for him, 137.0. Alex Albon, 137.2, 62 laps for him, 47 laps for Nico Hulkenberg in 9th on a 137.2. 137.7 for Sainz, 59 laps. 74 laps for Arvid Lindblad, 137.997. He's in for the afternoon. Lawson only did the morning and he's 24 laps behind his teammate, actually. 50 for him, 138.0. Fernando Alonso all day, 138.248, 3.9 seconds off the pace now, 94 laps. 42 laps for Perez, 138.653, and Bottas a 140.441, 57 laps. Looking at that board, what I could take from that straight away is a lot of the afternoon drivers are getting a hell of a lot of lappage, but I suppose that's because these conditions are far closer to what they're going to get in Bahrain in a couple of months' time, maybe, possibly, or the cooler temperatures will help for something like Melbourne or whatever, but certainly getting a lot of laps in this afternoon, so very good stuff there. I can't show more from F1 TV. It's called copyright. I can't show you footage. It's that shouldn't need to be explained in 2026. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe if you are new, like I say, and drop a like on the stream too. That'd be massively appreciated. We're live again tomorrow from 2:30 p.m. GMT, and then live 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week for proper full testing live, the final test, of course. So that will be, I'm very much looking forward to that one, to be fair. So yeah, please do drop a like and subscribe if you're new. Lots to come. This is the place to be. I'll explain the F1 Word stuff over on the F1 Word at some point, but definitely back for the Australian Grand Prix preview. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do through Patreon, link in the description, or by becoming a channel member. You'll get your name at the end of every video, some stupid emojis to use, and you'll also get a badge as well. So memberships and Patreon supportage, massively appreciated. And if you want to drop a super chat, feel free as well. I'll always come to in chat and read your questions, so no pressure. But if you want to support the channel through a super chat, feel free as well. This isn't one of those channels though that only reads super chats, don't worry. Not everyone could do that. So Neelish says, let's go to chat for a little bit. Neelish says the race is saying that Merc engine teams are successfully doing the first gear downshift thing, while Ferrari engine teams can't cope with it. So that's an interesting one. Valentine says maybe the FOM wants to gamify F1 more for young viewers. Big boost available on screen and Mortal Kombat sound bites when it's used. Fair enough. Maybe. Do the compounds they're using for testing count towards their season allotment, says Michael. I don't think so, but don't quote me on that. I think we had a similar question a few years ago, and it wasn't as Bortoletto is he stopping on track, or he looks like he's got going on the driver track again, but we're watching. Mattia Binotto's laughing. I have to say, happy to see him back in the paddock again. Bortoletto's definitely slowing. Sainz seems to be as well, though. Or is Bortoletto just letting somebody through? Maybe he is, but he definitely looked like he was well off track there. Maybe a lockup that we'll see a replay of in a moment, and that's why he's gone off. But
very wide at 10.
Yeah. I wonder, I didn't quite catch the start of that, so I'm sure we'll get a replay. Here we go, replay on Bortoletto. I'm guessing it's a lockup and straight on, pretty much. So, big lockup on the left, or a little lockup, and then another little lockup, and another little lockup. Well managed, actually, from Bortoletto to avoid a massive flat spot. Wide he goes. Binotto throwing his arms up at the TV and then laughing. There you go. We're watching Lindblad as well. Sorry, just in turn 1, I'm guessing. Going to have a moment in 2. Maybe, yeah, a bit of a side. Oh, yeah, nice little snap through 2 and then into 3 there for Arvid. Lindblad, yeah, surprised if not named turn 3 Grosjean, to be honest. Hadjar very slow on the final corner. Would that be in poor taste, renaming turn 3 Grosjean? I suppose it would, wouldn't it? But he survived, and it was quite an iconic moment, and he memes about it. So,
yeah.
Go on, Jonty. What were you planning on saying? You had an idea, and I'm guessing it's something daft, but I really want to hear it now.
No, you just made me think of something different. Like when you see the memes of endurance people saying, "Yo, this race is fire." Yeah, well, that one was.
Luke
says... it's almost as if the new aero rigs have made drivers realise, hang on, we actually have to concentrate for turn 10 now.
Yeah.
The amount of people locking up and going wide. It was always tricky, but they were kind of planted through there with the last regs. Now they have to really concentrate, and I'm wondering about other parts of different tracks that could be really interesting. You know, ones where cars get a bit squirrely, like Maggotts Beckett's.
Hadjar wide at 10. What are you talking about it? Well timed. Thank you, Isack. Thank you, mate. I'll just read a couple more. So Luke says you used to full live in 2018 on the F1 Word, did you not? Question mark. We did I think the first year, and just to be clear, without being a bitch, we were the first. Nobody else did. Nobody else was stupid enough to do these. Everyone else still had their brains. I think it was 2018 or 2019. It wasn't broadcast, so I thought, well, that's ridiculous. Let's do it. And so we did all day, every day with live timing, and we did the 2 4-day tests, so 8 days, and not having the broadcast made it really difficult because
it wasn't easy, was it?
Anything. So it's better. That's why I decided to do it this way this week, and we'll do the full ones next week, because at least we have something to watch along together and comment on as well while we're watching it. So, but we did just do it with just the timing, which was crazy. So, we definitely did. We loved doing them. We did it. We were only going to do them once for a season and see what happened. And I think one of those streams we got 8,500 people concurrent live. So we're like, well, and that's why everyone now does them. Hang on a minute, there's money to be made here. Bought a PC that year, didn't I?
Same goes for race watch-alongs.
Yep.
Before anyone else.
Yep. I'd love to tell a story, but it would come across as really catty, and I wouldn't mean it catty. But maybe next week I'll save it. Rev Raven disagrees on Grosjean, by the way. Says we should call it Phoenix Corner. That would be awesome. I like that. Slightly more
that's
tasteful.
the nickname he took. Yeah.
Yeah. Better than almost burned to death turn 3, isn't it? I suppose. So that's one way.
Yeah.
What did I watch that on? I watched that the other day. Again, it's crashed for some reason. It was on something, and I watched it, and I was like, I'll never forget that feeling watching that live. I don't want to get really grim and dark about it now, but your mind immediately goes to, oh shit, we've lost one. And it was, it's a mirror. It's not, sorry. It's not a miracle. And I'm not, if you are religious, that's fine, but I can't stand the, oh, thank God he survived. No, thank the FIA. Thanks to Sid Watkins, Professor Sid Watkins. That's who you need to thank. That's why he got out of that. And just sheer grit and determination, survival instinct. That would be a terrible name. I'm not going to lie.
I know a lot of people clown on Will Buxton for obvious reasons. He says a lot of stupid stuff, especially in DTS. But that moment, a lot of people gave him crap for saying, and I disagree because it was the perfect way to describe it for people who aren't race fans who are just getting into it through the show. Like, there's a moment on a race when a racetrack falls silent, and you know what that means. It's exactly the right way to describe it. There are those moments when you're like, oh God, and everyone goes silent. The pit lane's quiet. It's odd. It's eerie. It must have been really wild for people who are getting into Formula One. Like, oh wow, look at this, and then they see that and they're like, oh my God. I mean, one of my favorite things I found on YouTube was people. Not everyone likes reaction content, but people who aren't racing fans watching that, and the looks on their faces and the responses from them is insane. Like, they can't understand. They're just in complete shock. It really is quite interesting from our perspective, because we've seen that, some of us who are older have seen even worse. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll not go into it too much, but yeah, we've seen a lot worse. Jonty's a little bit older than me. Not much, but he's seen a bit more than me.
Enough.
But yeah.
And because I watch so many more different series as well.
Sean, please tell that story about being first. I'm ill now. Next week, back to work. Well, first of all, get well soon. It's not a.
Yeah.
The trouble is, if I tell it, it sounds like I've got beef or I'm causing trouble, and I'm not. It was quite funny at the time, and now, and looking back, it's even funnier now. But I don't want to offend the person it's about. Jonty will know exactly what I'm talking about. Should. But maybe. I'll think about it. Or if I don't do it today, I might do it tomorrow. We'll see. I'll have a think how I can word it in a nice way.
Let's talk about how pretty the cars are.
Let's do that. We're going to do a livery ranking in about 20 minutes. So,
yeah, Lindblad's going around now, and I'm just still looking enraptured with the wheels. Sorry, the white rims, especially with the white band around the very edge. It just looks awesome. It looks so good.
I hadn't noticed that. You're right. They teased us with that in a launch a few years ago, didn't they? The white wheel rims, and it was just for the show. But they've actually put them on the car this year, which is cool. But I said it yesterday. The cars, forgetting liveries, they look great anyway. They look like race cars again. Yeah. And I know the tires getting narrower has done quite a lot of the heavy lifting there, but they don't look like HGVs anymore. They look like race cars. Yeah. They're still too long. And I'd love them to be narrower, but obviously safety comes first in that matter. But they just look so much nicer, so much more nimble, and it's so. I know that it's turn 10 is tricky anyway, but it is so great to see the drivers actually having to fight these even in testing. That's going to be great for the first half of this season at least. Watching them having to try and get to grips with it. But I have to say I'm concerned by what I'm still calling barge boards, but I know some tech people don't like that, and the front wing end fences and all that, because I'm concerned that we're going to go back to that era of, they've lost a tiny bit of carbon fibre and now they've lost half a second a lap, which worries me. But that's part of racing, I guess, isn't it? It goes around, comes around and all that. So They just look great. And actually, the Racing Bulls is a good example, Jonty, of just, I think that looks like one of the narrower cars, even though they're probably all the same width. Maybe that's just the livery and the way they've done it, but it looks really narrow. Don't like the big bulbous nose on the Aston Martin, I will say that.
The one thing about the barge boards that you mentioned with, bits being knocked off, they do seem to stick out really wide. Like they go all the way out. Like they're only a really short distance further in from the edge of the wheel. That could be an issue because we're in the past where we've seen, side by side and you get the wheels sort of in the gap between the other wheels. That could be, that could completely destroy that part instead of just a couple of bits flicked off.
See, All-Wheel Dingus says better than the McLaren droopy nose, but actually, I think if the end of that nose was painted papaya, I think it wouldn't look quite as bad as it does. I don't get the black at the end of the nose there.
I think it'd look worse.
Do you?
That sounds, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not particularly a fan of it, but I understand it, how you got the different elements. So it's that barrier between the top and the bottom.
I suppose, yeah.
But as I sort of just posted in the chat yesterday, look, you've got the orange, you've got the black. Just make it a tiger.
There's that.
It will look amazing.
Or paint the black white and go with a Marlboro McLaren livery, but with papaya instead of the red. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, the McLaren fans would go mad for that. And not the silly black, green and yellow, because that looked bloody awful.
The black, green, and yellow. Which one was that?
Monaco last year. The year before.
Oh yeah, no, I know which one you mean. Yeah,
it was GOP. It was meant to be like the three different winning something or other. I don't know. Oh no, the black, white, red was that one. They did the same idea twice. It was the Marlboro livery, but with three different colours. Both of them sucked.
The Hat Pro says, I'm still trying to find out if Jonty's hair is longer than mine, but he does seem to have more natural body than me.
Probably.
Yeah, it's quite long.
And it's only got natural body because I couldn't be bothered to condition it the other day. Yeah,
I'm not having an opinion on hair.
One was a Senna tribute. Yeah, you're not allowed to have.
I'm not having an opinion on hair. I only have the sides. Thanks, Dad. Love you. Why is Kimi Antonelli there? He should be grounded for crashing the car, says Sighted Canvas. Of course, he crashed his road car, didn't he? He's okay. But oops. Yeah, that was... I might be wrong. Hadn't he only had it 3 days? Or something like that. And he binned it. It was something like that. It's something like that. I mean, I'll have it, even as a write-off, I'll still take it. Why not? Golf.
It's one of those rare occasions when you would get adults going, "Oh, these idiot kids getting into a super powerful car when they've only just passed the driving test." Like, he's a bit different.
Yeah,
I think he's got the experience.
Golf Ball says, my girlfriend screamed when Grosjean crashed, convinced she's just seen someone. Yeah. Hey, Golf Balls, mate. Hope you're well.
Yeah.
Gingerfest says, who mandated new fire suits for that season? That was a major reason it wasn't worse. Yeah. What I said, the final thing on the Grosjean crash, that was the video that made me send my Halo rant private, because that ended any debate about, I don't give a shit how good the car looks now. That Halo prized the barrier open so it didn't take his head off. Debate over. It's as simple as that. So I actually privated that because that was, even though I went on to do a proper Sean, you're an idiot, look at the facts video, which was a much better video. That was that had to come down, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas, mate.
And you referencing that, sorry, just because that actually happened.
Yeah.
In the 70s. Helmuth Koenig? I think it literally happened. So yeah.
They talk about the Triple Crown tribute and the Senna livery. Apparently, where Kimi crashed is well-known area for accidents. Well, it certainly is now, Gingerfest. They'll rename that Antonelli.
Accident now. Oh, we have a visitor.
Have you got your cat?
Yeah.
Baxter will be with us next week. He's not up here now, but he'll be because I can't. Right, dog chat very quickly. I love Baxter, my little cockapoo, more than anything in the world. I would give up anything for him. Right. If you have a busy lifestyle, please don't get a cockapoo. They are so... Separation anxiety is real. My God. So I can't sit up here for 8-9 hours next week a day with him downstairs with my partner. So he'll have to... the dog will have to wander. So you'll see a lot of... Next week, you'll see a lot of this door getting pushed open and a tail wagging past as he comes for treats. So, yeah. Well, I'll have to get a Baxter cam at some point. I will do. But yeah, he's okay, though. He's I think, without being too... my dog's my baby owner. I think he's had a cold the last couple of days because he has been really grumpy and really sneezy and fed up. So, yeah, that's dog talk done. I need a jingle along with tyre talk. Which cat's that, Jonty? I forgot. Oh, I should know this.
This is racing car cat. This is Lola.
I nearly said Lola. Oh my God! Why did I just say Lola? I'd look like a genius. Arvid Lindblad, the latest to go wide and slide at turn 10. What's he done on the inside there? Yeah. Just a bit wide and a slide.
They need to paint eyes on either side of the T-cam.
What's with that flat airbox, by the way? Nice little table, that airbox, isn't it? Have that in your living room.
I'm sure there's some benefit to it.
Yeah.
Or else they wouldn't have done it.
Have you seen the eyes on the Williams screens, by the way?
No.
Oh, what? Tell me, chat. You'll be able to tell me who it is. I can't remember who it is. I did check and then I forgot. But basically, the back of the monitors, they've now got a screen on there and it blinks and it's got eyes and someone will say in chat. Yeah, it's silly, but it's Williams, isn't it? They're a popular team, so they're having some fun, and why not? The famous Turn 10 still catches drivers out even in the Newcastle sighted canvas. Dog talk with Sean, DTS. Nice side hustle, there you go. Cats rule everything around me. Yes. I have no idea what the reference is, but yes. Not a cat man. I don't dislike cats, and I don't hate cats. I'm not a cat person. I prefer dogs, but... he is no longer a puppy, no, but he is still my puppy. He's 4, I think. So 28.
4?
Yeah.
Well, how old was he when you got him?
Baby. Puppy. Tiny. It'll be 4 or... He's 4. I'm sure it's 4 now. 5 in April. He was born in April. We got him in June.
Before now. Yeah, well, I came to visit you in May of 2022.
So we got him the following year, then 23. So he's not quite 4.
Well, I think you got him a few months. I think you got him a few months later. Can't remember.
Yeah, it was the same year. Yeah, no, because then we said we're getting a dog, and you were like, "Oh, I'll have to come and see the dog." So it's my turn to come to you, though. So.
By the way, this is the testing stream. We're just having a chat about what we can and can't remember because we're old.
Yeah, simple as that. Welcome to Formula Sean. It's and if you recognise us, yes, it really is the delusional, old, forgetful idiots from the F1 word. It's almost like it's exactly the same, and it's the creator that makes the channel. But anyway, or the creators. But anyway, yes. Are we creators or are we just mates who talk nonsense? Both.
Yes.
That Haas, by the way, again, we'll do livery ranking in a bit. Beautiful car. Very nice. Yep. Ollie Bearman out there on the C3 at the moment, marked as yellow now on the TV, but red on the tower, I think. I don't know. I'm so confused by it all.
They're really making it awkward.
They are. I get it. They're testing a straight mode disabled. Oh, my God. That's it now. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to do it. You can work it out yourself. Stuart says, I'm still losing my mind how they made the front wings narrow, but still wide enough to be vulnerable at turn 1. F1 things. Yeah.
Front wings do look good, though.
Do they remind you of the 2008 front wing-esque? Not the same. Obviously, when the flaps go down, then no, but a little bit. Straight mode, normal grip. So they're testing the straight mode things now. So, Red Raven says, "Don't worry. As you well know, we deteriorate alongside you lot." Yeah, we cause it though, do we? Leclerc's lap time was on the C3 this morning. That hard tyre is the tyre is running now. And the laps you might be able to see on screen as we have a virtual safety car deployed, I assume, for testing. But yeah, that's the laps they've done on this set of tyres. That's their stint length. There you go. I can't put their overall laps on, unfortunately. It's all part of the coding. And screen grab, it looks dreadful because it's pretty low res. But yeah. Welcome to Formula Sean, the last local pub still open for a good time with friends. We discuss everything from technical F1 stuff to cat food. It's true. Pot noodles, robot wars. You guys have got some great questions on the wheel, by the way. Next week's going to be hilarious, Jonty. Some fantastic questions. Mostly F1 related, but a lot of random stuff as well. And I'm looking forward to that one. So, Annette says, yes, it's all your fault I'm getting old. We're red flagged. I'm guessing they're testing things, systems. I can't see anyone stopped on track. So we do have a red flag, but again, I think they're testing systems. They like to do this towards the end of the sessions, don't they? Yes, Stuart. Oh, I haven't told you about the wheel, have I? I wanted to surprise you with that next week. I've set up a wheel, and I've basically asked people for questions, and I've put their questions on this wheel, and at random times next week during the streams, we're going to spin them and then answer questions at random. It's just a way to, rather than just picking questions that I want to answer, it means that we have to pick questions that maybe we don't want to answer, but it'll be funny. So it'll make just something to add to them. It'll be fun. Or terrifying. It's mostly F1 related, but I think there's 30 odd questions on there, I think, so you won't be able to see it very well on the stream. But I'll be able to see it, so that's all that matters. It could be fun. Or should be fun. So we have got a red flag. My assumption here is that they are testing things because nobody is stopped on track, and they like to do a test of the old yellow flags, virtual safety cars, red flags. I will say yesterday they did do practice starts at the end of the session, but obviously F1 were on a very strict schedule, and they went off air at dot on 4 o'clock, so we didn't get to watch the practice starts for some reason. So no Michael McIntyre for this one. The wheel. Yeah. I know Jonty's a big Michael McIntyre fan. Huge Michael McIntyre fan.
Stand him. Really can't stand him. I've just seen the Williams eyes. That's fantastic.
It is funny, isn't it? It's good. They go to the end of the pit lane, 6.5 minutes to go, so they are going to go out again once the red flag clears, but nobody stopped. They are just testing systems, is my assumption, unless somebody knows anything that I don't. But yeah. It's perfect for memes, apparently, the wheel is. So let's have a read through some more of your questions then. And then in about 6-7 minutes' time, we will be doing the livery ranking. We'll do the votes in chat. We'll probably go through them quite quickly, so we're not here until 8 o'clock tonight. And then we will show you ours, and you'll be like, you're wrong. It's as simple as that. Red Ravens, I still think the sport should long-term find a way to make the Halo more visually appealing, but it has proven its worth multiple times over the years. The cat's on the move again. Sean, we all know stuff you don't. It's true. You know a lot more than me. Jonty, do you have a favourite comedian? Says MSC Biles. Good question.
Not off the top of my head. There's lots that I do like and lots that I don't like.
I'm a big fan of Lee Evans and Billy Connolly and people like that. I tell you who I do love right now, James Acaster. He's nuts.
It's usually just certain skits that I like of comedians. Like Eddie Izzard with Death Star Canteen and Cake or Death.
Cake or Death, yes. I know exactly what you mean. My brother's obsessed with that one as well, so that often gets mentioned or played when I'm around him.
Yeah, and various other ones. Jim Jeffries' gun control routine was just amazing. Because one, it was hilarious, and two, it was exactly spot on.
I suppose it depends what comedy you're into.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
One-liners these days, you don't get much better than a Milton Jones or a Tim Vine, do you? There are some historically that might be better, but these days, yeah.
There's an Aussie comedian, I think it's Steve Marsh, something like that. He's very funny.
Mm.
Can't think of his name.
What's the like situation? 53 likes. Drop some more likes on the video or the stream, please, guys. That'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new and all of that. We're just watching the last 4 minutes of testing. I've got to say, actually, there'll be some who will be frustrated we haven't updated you much, but to be honest, it's been quite an uneventful day for the most part. A red flag test, a wing mirror came off, a couple of cars stopped, but were pretty quickly recovered and back out on track. It was this morning where all the interesting stuff happened. I'll just run through that again very quickly. Leclerc, fastest in the morning session, running the C3. Red flag was thrown after 10 minutes into the session with Sergio Perez stopping on track. Red Bull had a hydraulic leak, so they didn't get out until very late on, and Hadjar did one lap. Has certainly made up for that this afternoon, though. Mercedes had to do a full engine change on Antonelli, so he only did 3 laps this morning. And Lando Norris stopped at the end of the pit lane, but was pretty much straight out again in the afternoon. But that is really it. Otherwise, we had a red flag for Bottas's wing mirror, red flag for Gaz, who stopped on track at turn 1, and we're currently going through yellow flags and red flag tests. So a much more standard day of testing, to be fair. Yeah, please do become a channel member if you want a helmet, is what Red Raven's saying there. You get to use cool emojis as well. I don't know if I say cool, they're terrible, but there you go. Sean Locke is great. I do like Sean Locke, so yes, that's the YouTuber stuff out of the way. Likes and subs and blah 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 blah. You know the drill. Back tomorrow at 2:30 for the Friday afternoon session where Jonty might be joining me, but I might be solo. That'll be decided last minute. So I'll surprise you all. Either way. Let's have a quick run through some more questions before we get to the livery stuff. Then Ricky Gervais and Sean Locke is CPP saying there. Jonty, that's also
Sean Locke was a god.
He was. I'm not going to pass comment on Ricky Gervais though. Sounds like a story to share with friends tomorrow, maybe. Who was the fastest speed so far? So the fastest in the speed trap at the moment is still George Russell, 336 kilometers an hour. That was earlier today. That's not been recent because we said that earlier, didn't we? Leclerc second, 334, closely followed by Norris on 333. So that is quicker, as we expected, than last year's straight line speeds. We are getting some practice starts now. So with those hazard lights on Leclerc's wing mirrors, I just imagine they've got a little button on the dashboard that they have to press when they break down, like the cars used to have. They probably still do. I'll save my livery opinions for next week to Stuart. Good plan.
I can think of a few drivers who could do with hazard warnings on their wing mirrors. Lance.
he needs Lance Stroll needs some sort of sensor on the front of his car that tells him when there's gravel and tarmac, just so he knows. That's harsh. I will let it go.
He'll never live that down. I'm
won't.
never letting that go. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life in Formula One. Not even Ricardo Rosset did something that stupid.
Good question from Red Ravens. Says anyone who stands out or is struggling. Anyone who stands out is struggling, or are they all struggling equally at the moment? I only see question marks and no obvious sandbagging yet. I don't think there's anybody struggling per se. Nobody in trouble. And I've got the teams I thought were going to be okay are okay. Your Ferraris, your Mercedes, your McLarens, your Red Bulls. Really impressed by Haas with their lappage as well. 130 laps again for Bearman today. So they've got a reliable engine. They've got a good, reliable car, and they're pumping the laps. And again, we can't read much into lap times, but that's a decent lap from Bearman compared to those around him. And Cadillac are maybe expected to be at the back to start with, but that's kind of what I expected anyway. I thought they'd improve as the season went on, but it's not the same as Audi buying Sauber and sticking an engine in the back, because yes, they've had to build an engine, but they've already got a team in place, whereas Cadillac have had to do it all from scratch and had to take a Ferrari engine, which could be a curse. We'll see. But no, I've been quietly impressed with everybody in terms of reliability. But is there anybody struggling? It's a difficult word or difficult thing to pin on anybody at this stage of testing, but I think you could say Mercedes today with their engine issues, but yeah, I think everyone looks okay. About where I'd expect them to be, Jonty, I guess is what I'm saying at this stage.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, who are those hazards for on the wing mirrors?
I think they're mostly for low light conditions or for in the rain, for spray. So if a car spins or it's off track and it's facing the wrong way or something, at least the hazards are warning cars coming that there's a car there, so we avoid head-ons. Or
I was just thinking about it, like, it can't really be for other drivers because they're on the front. Surely in most situations when a car's coming up to another car, it's from the back.
Yeah. I'll run through the times for the final times and the final lap count. Then we'll get ready for the livery ranking. So let's fly through this quickly. So Charles Leclerc, fastest on day 2 of official testing, but actually technically day 5. So there you go. 134.2, 139 laps for him. His fastest time was on the C3. Norris second, 134.7, 149 laps in the end for him. Ollie Bearman, 135.3, 130 laps for him. George Russell, 135.4, 54 laps for the Mercedes driver there, with Hadjar on 87 laps in the end. Again, that's 86 laps this afternoon from Hadjar, so that's a really good turnaround. 136.5 in 5th place. Gabriel Portoletto, 67 laps at 136.670. Gasly did a 136.723, 97 laps for him. Was Gasly all day? I think he was. Yes, 67 laps for Bottas, 136.8. Albon did a 137.2, 62 laps. Hulkenberg 47 laps. Lindblad did 83. Hulkenberg a 137.2. Lindblad a 37.4. 37.5 for Sainz, 69 laps. Nice. 50 laps for Lawson, 138 flat. 138.2 for Alonso, 98 laps. 42 laps for Sergio Perez and a 138.653. Antonelli this morning, just 3 laps for that engine problem, as we've mentioned before. He didn't do a time, just 3 reconnaissance laps. So that is it. Right. Let me just open the right page here because I think I've messed up. So not a great surprise, is it? Let's be honest. Let's do some livery ranking. We'll fly through these relatively quickly, so you'll only get sort of a minute to vote on a poll, but we've only got got 90 odd of you here, so this is it shouldn't take too long. We'll put it in presentation mode. For some reason, despite the fact I've done this 3 times today, setting it up, it's again gone wonky, so I'll have to try and fix this as we go. I don't know.
You do that, I'll go the loop.
Yeah, I'll quickly do it. I don't know why it's decided to be a bit of a knob about this, but it has. And now I can't find the thing. There we go. Tier list. There we go. All sorted. So we'll do a live ranking. I'll put polls in chat. We'll put all 4 options are. S tier. S tier, as the kids call it. That is your top tier. C tier is the bottom tier. If you are disappearing, by the way, thank you for tuning in. Please drop a like before you go. We're going to fly through this and have some fun now. See you later, Stuart. And looking forward to next week. And I'll message you back in a bit, I promise. But yeah, we just want to hear your views. Then we'll show you what we've done. And then you'll be able to let us know what you think about our ranking. Jonty and I, not all that dissimilar on that front. There are a few differences. So we're going to start. I'm going to do them in order as they appear on that graphic there, which is it alphabetical? It might be. It wasn't supposed to be, but it looks like it is. So that's cool. That saves me a lot of hassle. So I'm going to go straight in here with a poll. We'll say Audi livery, S tier, A tier, B tier. Alpine livery, not Audi. I said that wrong, didn't I? I will go alphabetically. This is going really well so far. I'll start that poll now. Let me know what you make of the Alpine livery. I don't think it's that bad. It's not great compared to what they could have done. It is very similar to last year's, but I actually think it's an all right livery in my opinion, as you'll see on the thing. It's not, I won't put it at the top, but I think it's okay for what it is. Plus the blue and the pink works better on track. That's the reason I wanted to do these this week, because at least we're doing them once we've seen the cars on track. So I think that's not a terrible idea there. So get your votes in and then we'll pop it on the board somewhere in just a second. Wait for Jonty to get back to do that one. So but that is where we are at the moment. We're going with Alpine. But yeah, not bad, but we've certainly seen better. There are a few on here that I think are absolutely horrendous, but here we are. The Cadillac one, as an aside, has really, I said this yesterday, has really grown on me over the last week, really, isn't it? Probably since they revealed it on the Super Bowl. So every Super Bowl rather, every single time I look at it, it looks a little bit better. So apparently, Valtteri Bottas did say that he likes the dark side. So that's why he always gets in that side. Hey Lee, hope you well, mate. We're just doing some livery ranking now, so waiting for Jonty to come back, but it looks like Alpine is going to end up on the B tier here. You guys are voting for that one, and we'll tell you we'll show you ours at the end. It's the best way to do it, I think. Do you mean the warning for car not safe to touch electricity, Jonty? Question mark. Maybe. I don't know. I think it was about the wing mirror flashing lights, weren't we? But he might have said something I missed. I do listen to him. Just sometimes I'm focusing on other things at the same time. So now I'm sorry, but while it's not the worst that Alpine Blue Pink is still screaming identity crisis to me, I want to punch above our weight like Force India, but sadly we are Renault. I do wish they just embrace the pink a bit more. I will say that, Red Raven. I think given that they want to keep that, like you say, the blue Alpine identity in there, I think it is a compromise, and I would like to see what I would call the Racing Point strawberry milkshake pink, the darker pink, and more, the pink that pops rather than the pale pink. I did like that one. So I'm going to pop it straight in there. So you guys, you've been voting, you've gone with B. That's where we're going to put the Alpine now. I'll tell Jonty where we're at. He'll be able to see when he gets back.
I'm here.
But yes, we've got the first one in.
I can still hear.
We've got the first one in, Jonty. They've gone.
I can't know where I put it now.
I'm not really. I thought we'd do ours at the end. Would probably be the easiest way to do this, but I think that Red Raven doesn't really like it. And a few probably don't, but yeah, we'll go with Aston Martin. This I have to, as a review of their livery, because I never got to do it in a reaction because I didn't want to. It's just meh. It sounds stupid, but there's nothing to break the green up. It just looks like somebody's spray painted it green, which actually, to be fair, Adrian Newey did say that the reason they ran a black livery in Barcelona was because they didn't have time to paint it. So maybe that is all they've done. I'm just not a big fan of that myself. So intrigued to see which way you guys are going with that one, whether it be a good one or a bad one. It looks like it's going to be, it could go either way, this one. This is a fun poll. I'm watching this one switch all over the place. Zero effort, says Annette. Exactly. What colour do you want it? Green. Done. Yeah, not a big fan of this myself, but again, not to give too much away. You probably already worked out.
I feel like chat's going to be completely opposite to us.
Probably. I think that I won't say which, but I put 3 cars in the S tier. I think you put 2.
Yeah, I only put 2.
Yeah, but I put 3. And no, it wasn't the Audi. I might not even bother with a poll for that. Although I know there are some of you who do actually quite like the Audi livery. Which is why I'm going to pay for you to get your eyes tested, because I think it's just so. I think the annoying thing for me with Audi was that they pitched it. When you read the press release, they pitched it as a concept. Then you go further into it, and this is the basis for the livery. So when it launched, there was a bit of confusion about whether we'd already seen it, and then when they launched it, it was like, we have seen this. You just stuck some sponsors on it, so not a big fan of that one. So. How long do we want to give each poll, Jonty? We've got 11 teams to get through, so a couple of minutes?
Yeah, a minute.
A minute?
No, a minute's
there you go.
Plenty.
I'm
Everyone's
new
here.
to all this fun stuff. We don't usually do fun stuff here. There we go. You voted for C. But I've got to say, A and B were tied at 30%. So actually, you like that livery more than I do. That's for sure. So that's a bit of a. What do you make of that, Jonty? I know we definitely disagree on that.
I think it fits, to be honest. You either love it or you hate it. I will say the one we've actually seen on track is a fraction different, because it has now got the yellow stripe back, sort of running along the break between the green and the black.
I don't think this is going to be particularly close, the Audi one. Already looks like that's only going one way, to be fair. Well, maybe not. We'll see. What we're watching on... What's Sky showing now? Is this just... Oh, it's Zandvoort for some reason. Because I was just thinking what happened in Zandvoort. Let's watch it. Yeah, but there's the notebook in that tonight, isn't it? Which should be pretty cool. I like listening to Ted wander down the paddock and waffle. So... This, I'm going to be honest, it's a bit more split than I thought. The Audi is it's Friday 4 p.m. and deadline was that day. Looking, and that's as polite as I will be, says Red Raven. Audi needs more sponsors for that livery to work society canvas. And Aston, so close by definition, it should be B tier, says Biles. Yeah, I'm just going to work it on whichever finishes top rather than anything else. So I'll give you 10 seconds to get your votes in, and then we'll wrap up on Audi because I think we have an answer, really, unless somebody wants to be. Yes, I think that's the thing, CPB. Audi's livery has so much more potential. I thought, a colour scheme of silver, red and black could have been made to look... The only good thing, Jonty, is the red intakes. The red line around the intakes.
Yeah, they look
That's
great.
Cool. That is cool. Unsurprisingly, you've decided that also belongs alongside the Aston Martin in the seating. Now, this is what I'm really interested in. Genuinely, okay? You all interest me all the time. I can't get me questioning. There we go. Because this is one that when I saw it, I went, eh. And every time I've seen it since, it's grown on me, and that's Cadillac. So do it on what you think now you've seen it on track rather than what you saw in the renders and whatnot the other day, because this might do well. I sound like Graham Norton doing Eurovision. This could do well. It's not going down well with the jury, but it is with the public. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I quite like it. I quite like it. I don't like the PR spiel. Apparently, they say it is the definition of American. What, not red, white, and blue? All right. They've gone with that instead. So there you go. Cadillac is half A tier and half Z tier. Says Golf Balls. Gingerfest says one side is S and the other is B. CPB says B for B. Tech West. B for B, Tech West and McLaren. It does look like the West McLaren in places, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't
one
really
side.
Pop, says CPB. I think that's the Audi one. So.
Yeah, I said on Blue Sky, one side's a West McLaren, the other side is the Danker Arrows.
Oh, the perfectly black one, 98.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't understand that car, because it's just black with white sponsors on it, and somehow it looked fantastic.
That was the year they built their own engine, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
In 98.
Whether that's down to the shape of the cars, I don't know. But it's always confused me that.
You talk about 98, 99 time for cars like that. The Cadillac also has sort of late 90s Tyrrell vibes in some areas, the white and the black. Not
Did you go that way? I can't remember the Tyrrells of that period.
They're all just white and black with a few sponsors on that they've made up. Let's end it there. I'm surprised it's a split. It's split. 43% went with A, 25% went with C. So it is an A tier win, but actually not as clear cut as I thought that was going to be. I thought I thought the consensus in the fan base was that now that we've seen it out on track, it looks much better. But I guess also it is just a white and black car, isn't it? So, or is it silver? Is it silver or white, or grey or both? It's go on then.
Well, there's confusion
Ferrari
between something
next.
that's not quite white, not quite grey, not quite silver. You know what that's linking to, don't you? It's the Justine car.
Oh, no. At least it didn't come out a really pale yellow. That would have been. Anyway.
That's concerning, yeah.
Green.
That's the See a Doctor livery.
I know if you're in chat, if you're watching this later, this will make no sense unless you've got the live chat open, the chat replay. I'm watching this Ferrari poll and I'm concerned. I'm a little bit surprised by the way this is going. I'm not going to say any more, but yeah, interesting. Fudd says the caddy that was shown in the glossy advert looked chromed. Had it kept that, it'd be better, says Fudd. I didn't really catch that, but I think, yeah, you were a bit chromy rather than whitey grey would have been. Even that probably would have been an S tier.
See, I've got the Ferrari a bit lower than I'd like to have it because I like the intention of what they've done, but there are complaints. The red doesn't come down far enough. The red doesn't come down far enough. Loads of others have got the paint like really low down on the side pod. Just take it a few more inches. And two, where's the green stripe?
Yeah, it's an Italian team for God's sake.
Yeah, well, they always do that, like with the special edition road cars, with the Ferraris of the era they're trying to sort of pay homage to. It's like, it's not just that one red pinstripe. There's a green one as well. Without that, it looks like there's something missing.
The one thing I will defend Ferrari on is, whilst I still hate it, the HP logo is definitely better integrated than it was last year. It's not just been slapped on, they've at least thought about it. But, yeah. Are we done with your votes? It's just quite close. There's one or two in it, so I'm not... Yeah. I've done it. We've ended it. You've picked, in the end, B tier, but there was a moment where I thought I was going to S tier, and I was going to call you all nuts, but it's all about opinions and all of that. So we're building a picture here, a very pretty picture as well. It's lovely. I feel like only putting one option in this poll, because there is only one option, but I have a feeling we're going to disagree on this one, chat. But there you go. What about Haas? Look good in the renders, looks good out on track. Do you think it's worthy of an S, an A, a B, a C? That's all you've got. I was going to put more letters there, but there aren't any more. So I would have done lower tiers as well, by the way, but you can only put 4 options on the poll, which is annoying. So I don't know, is that like the law or something on polls? Like, why is every poll just 4 options? Why can't you have 5 or 6? Especially when you've got a Formula One related YouTube channel, and you could do with 22 options, really. But
yeah, you can on Twitch.
I knew you were going to say Twitch. It's always Twitch. It's such a Twitch
Although
fanboy.
someone I watched did a poll once on Twitch with 5 options, and his chat always has a thing of trying to make it all equal, just to mess with it. And they did. And Twitch said that it was 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, and 21%.
Oh, liars.
So I'm not sure how that works out.
So you can't trust Twitch, then. There you go. Confirmed.
You can't have 101% of a vote.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Surprising thing here, I'm 1 different from chat so far.
I think I'm not going to give it. I'm pretty much the same, I think. Yeah. The car practically screams we already are Toyota Gazoo. We just aren't telling you yet. Looking good though. Yep. I think part of the Cadillac logo on the engine cover is chrome, and part of the rear wing is, says Gingerfest. Should have gone with the HP logo in green, says Barkio. That bloody mission winnow in green. They were just asking for trouble with that. For goodness sake. Come on, Ferrari.
It was just the right shades of green and red, so that you couldn't discern the edges. It made your eyes go funny. You know, like when you get the visual illusions with things of different colours together, that it just makes your eyes go weird. They got it just that colour, so it was horrible to look at.
Britain says, yes, Sean, you can in fact acknowledge your American fans. I always acknowledge my American followers. Always. The Spino jokes wrote themselves, says Red Raven. And Sighted Canvas says, that's fast. Yaris, that Haas. Let's end that there immediately. So the Haas, you guys have put right at the top, and I'm going to tell you now, You are correct. It's a good-looking car.
It's fantastic.
Like I say, livery great. Car looks good as well. So it all works quite nicely together. And we've got rid of that. I mean, they still need to go more American with it. But I'm happy with it. McLaren next, which I think we've already said we want to say. It should just be the Marlboro McLaren, but with papaya and white rather than black, or, as you say, Jonty, there are other ways they could have done it as well. But it's okay.
You see, the Haas, the thing that gets me for Haas, even if it's not to my personal taste or something, because I'm not a big fan of red, it looks like a race car. Big, sweeping graphics and letters and all the rest of it. You know, the sponsors are still in there, but they fit the sponsors in with the livery rather than just stuck on it. You know what I mean? That's what a race car should look like. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything flows with the car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Remember last year McLaren when they just started slapping new sponsors on in what wasn't random places but seemed like random places, and it just started looking a mess. Do you know what? Actually, funny thing, I like sponsors on an F1 car because they do help to sort of highlight the livery a bit. But I hated when Brawn started to become successful and they suddenly started getting sponsors. I loved that plain white with the neon-y mucky green stripe was just absolutely didn't have to do any more. And then they started to get the Virgin logo on there and it's like, oh,
yeah,
don't
the Virgin
do
looked
that.
awful.
Don't do that. I know they needed the money, so fair enough, but yeah, still. McLaren doing what I thought they'd do, which is middle of the road, to be honest, with delivery at the moment, comfortably as well compared to others. So we'll end that poll in a second. If McLaren are going for the MasterCard thing, they should have gone the whole way and recreated the epic MasterCard Lola livery. Oh.
No.
No, but what I love about that car is there is so little footage and photos available of it that you see it and go, oh. Bless them.
I wonder how many miles that actually did.
Not many. It didn't even get out of qualifying, did it?
No.
But yeah, Fudd says the McLaren is fine, needs less black. I'm always going to like a car that's not just black and white. At least it's not that god-awful black and red McLaren livery. Oh, God. The early Honda one, yeah. The black with the little bits of red. Oh, awful car. Awful. I also hated their first new Papaya livery as well, the one that Stoff drove. That was awful as well.
Oh, it was just orange with a blue rear wing. No,
that was the Renault days. They had the orange and black one. Is this the one that comes with a meme where Stoff's like, it's red? I can't describe it. It's just awful car. You've put the McLaren in B, by the way, which is
quite strongly in B as well. More than half the votes.
Strongly in B, but I'd say that's probably, I would call B middle of the road. So I would say that's probably about where I would have put them. So it probably is where I put them. But yeah, that's my feeling now. What about Mercedes then, chat? I like the stripes, the addition of those. I liked the way they went last year with the silver at the front and the black at the back and the Petronas stripe, but I quite like the stripes on there as well now, as I would call them. So I'm intrigued to see where everyone goes with this one. MSC Bile says, controversial opinion, I hated the Gulf liveries. Ooh, that is controversial.
Which ones? Because there are bad ones. I felt like when Williams were doing sort of the fan vote for the various different, or was it fan designed? I can't remember.
Yeah,
they had several Gulf liveries to choose from. It felt like for some reason it was always the worst one that got picked. It's like all of the other options were better than this. How did you go with this one?
Yeah, was it the first McLaren Gulf one they did that was really nice? That looked like it was just a Gulf livery.
That was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Monaco special as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the best Gulf livery ever is the Porsche 917. So, the original.
Another poll that looks like it's going only one way. Close between two options, but A at the minute looking pretty comfortable. It's all right. I love it. Anybody who subscribes to the channel and follows me, I'm always gonna love you to bits. But it's still all right. Fine. The F1 word has 130,000 subs, but 1,000 subs is still enormous to me because that's just honestly, hand on heart. I don't get it. Like, why are you watching this? Why are you subscribing to a guy just talking shit about F1? But I really appreciate it, and it still baffles me. I still can't explain to my mum and dad how I make money from it, by the way. They still cannot grasp how it works at all, but, you know. That's their generation, I guess. That's it for Mercedes, and that went quick. 42% of you, actually, putting it in A, which is... Well, no, not that surprising, actually. It's a nice livery. Nothing wrong with it at all. This is the one I think that there's going to be some disagreement on. This is Racing Bulls.
Alarming me.
Are you a bit close to this, Jonty? Is this concerning you that you're on a level with the chat? Or they're on a level with you?
Yeah. Literally one differing opinion with chat so far.
Red Raven doesn't get it either. That's fair enough.
We've done 8 now. God, so there's the one thing that's going to take me forever to get my head around this year. 11 teams, 22 cars.
Yes.
It's so ingrained now that it's 10 teams, 20 cars. So used to it for so long.
It will take some getting used to.
Not like the good old day, like the good old days when we had about 38 cars turn up, and then like 12 of them went home on Friday.
Yeah, didn't qualify.
And then another 6 went home on Saturday.
See this, and it may have been said by people before. This from Gingerfest means a lot because this is exactly what we're going for. It says it's because it's like talking to my mates at the pub, but my actual friends don't watch F1. That's exactly the vibe we're going for. So that means a lot. We're getting something right then. So that's good.
That really does mean a lot to us because from day one, that was the intent.
One of our first conversations, but the first stream you did, that was the idea, wasn't it? We spoke afterwards, like they just need to be mates in a pub, and that's what we went with. So yeah, thank you, Gingerfest. A little bit proud. I'm not mocking you. I can't deal with emotion. I'm very Chandler Bing in that respect. Not good with the advice, but can I interest you in a sarcastic comment? That's me to a T. Yeah. There you go.
Or friends talking in a bar for our American viewers.
Yeah, bar. Yeah. I was going to do an accent then, a sports bar.
Well, they do have some pubs over there.
With a Budweiser. No, not. There's better beers than Budweiser. What? Are you a Budweiser fan?
I like Bud. I like Bud.
I bought you Corona last time you came. You should have said, I prefer Budweiser.
I like Corona as well.
Corona's good. Bit of lime.
I like a lot of beers. I'm British. I like a lot of beer.
Just likes beer. Sorry, Perxia says, what's the question? Just got here. Also, first stream of the year for me. Looking forward to more throughout the year. Well, hello, welcome. Glad to see you again. Yeah, we're live next week. We're live again tomorrow. Obviously, we're live all day next week for the testing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a full 8 hours a day. So that could be fun. We're just ranking the liveries, or you're ranking the liveries. We've already done ours, and we're going to show you them in a minute. But just vote for the tier, S being the best and C being the worst for each of the liveries. So that's what we're muddling through at the minute. Just for a nice chill end to the day. I'm going to end that on Racing Bulls. I thought there was disagreement here, yes. You've gone with B, 39% of you, so quite comfortable in the end. We definitely Jonty's concerned here, I think. Maybe you're all conspiring against me, who knows.
This will change. This will be different. These two are the ones that are going to mix it up. So,
Red Bull Racing, start that poll. Sarcasm is my preferred communication, says Gingerfest. Yes. Do you know what country exports the most beer, says Thomas. Speaking of beer. I'm going to say...
Exports.
Well, I would have thought... Who does Heineken?
It's going to be the Netherlands, Germany, or Japan.
Japan's a good shout, you know.
I guess.
Germany also. Golf ball saying that.
Or possibly the USA. Oh, actually, no. Is this a trick question? It's actually Canada exporting it to America.
It's not us. I know it's not the UK because we drink all of ours. We're not that stupid. Why would you export it? Just drink it. 7 of the top beers in the US and Mexico.
Well. Yeah, Mexico. Of course. This is a really difficult question.
Red Raven just made the same joke about Germany. He says Germany doesn't export that much beer. We need it ourselves. Exactly that. Well, hopefully Thomas has an answer, and that's not just. I hope you weren't expecting an answer.
Or just asking if we know. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a tricky one. So I think Thomas has the answer here. So I'm looking forward to see this one. But yeah, we don't export beer in the UK. We just drink it. Plus, to be fair, you wouldn't want Carling, really. Is that a UK beer, Carling? It's probably Mexico. There you go. That's the answer, Mexico.
Yeah, we got in all of our ramblings, we got one of them.
We named every country. Yeah. We got there in the end.
Although an interesting one is that when I had to go to Sweden for work one year, beer prices. Any Swedes watching? I'm so sorry for you. My God, it's insane. 2016, it was £9.50 for a bottle of Old Speckled Hen in the hotel. And in bars, it was like £12 for a pint of Carlsberg Export. But some of the people at the place where I was working, there is a small local brewery, little small independent brewery in the town that exports to Germany, and people drive from their town over the bridge into Denmark, into Germany to buy that beer and take it home because it's cheaper than buying it from the town that they're in where it's brewed. Sorry, random tangent.
No, you're all right. Red Bull, we didn't need to worry. People have eyes. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Final one. Now, this is genuinely an interesting one because this had potential. Let's just put it that way. You probably already guessed where I've put it, but Williams is your final livery. Where are you putting it? Top, bottom, middle? Oh, it's turned into a not take your pick.
Strike it lucky.
Strike it lucky, that was it. It used to be, or strike it rich as it became, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the totally uncontroversial Michael Barrymore. Did you know that a shy a shy we get in the UK is brewed in Italy? Is that a shy? A shay? I didn't know that.
What do you mean Barrymore? What do you mean not totally uncontroversial? Barrymore was swimming in controversy.
I was being sarcastic. So were you. I tried to avoid the conversation. Now I said it. I was like, well, I shouldn't have said that. Now we're going to put a whole debate.
No, I was just making a very, very bad taste joke.
Yeah. Oh, the shite we get brewed? ? Maybe could be.
Well, there are a lot of sort of the import beers, like lagers that were genuinely being imported, and then certain companies bought them, and now half of them are brewed in Burton-on-Trent. But Upon-Trent, sorry, they get shitty when you say it wrong.
Upon-Trent.
Yes, it's a big, big thing. Stoke-on-Trent's fine. Nottingham-on-Trent, for some places it's fine. Some people call it, but it has to be Burton-upon-Trent. There was a big story about in the town hall. There's a great big wooden carving, and the guy carving it did on Trent instead of upon Trent, and he got loads and loads of crap for it.
Is there a reason?
Out of town.
Is it sat on the Trent?
I have no idea what the reason is. They just get very uppity.
Fair enough. CPB says, I've
You've
heard Stoke-on-Trent as a whole. Yeah.
Yes, it is. All 6 towns of it.
Yeah, no comment. I've never been. All I know about Stoke is the football reference to winning at Stoke on a rainy night. That's it. But yeah, I love the Williams, and I'm not sorry, says Stewie. We'll end it there then. So that's your final tier list. You've put the Williams in the B tier and comfortably in the B tier.
Yeah, because second was A. So
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That surprises me. I hate that.
Haas and Red Bull at the top, Cadillac and Mercedes second, then you've got Alpine, Ferrari, McLaren, Racing Bulls and Williams kind of middle of the road, and Aston Martin and Audi get in the bin. Let's see, shall we? So we'll start. Do you want to do yours first, Jonty, or shall I do mine first?
Yeah, go on then.
Jonty's first then. There we go. That's Jonty's livery ranking. Haas and Red Bull at the top, so you agree there. Mercedes and Cadillac second, so you agree there. Racing Bulls, Ferrari, McLaren in the middle, you agree there. And Alpine, Williams, Audi and Aston Martin down the bottom. So 2 disagreements there, Jonty, but pretty much what they said.
Alpine and Williams. If Williams had used that shakedown livery for the first test, it would have been an S. That was gorgeous. But obviously, sponsors, no, it's got to be this way.
That Barclays Blue is very late 90s, early 2000s Benetton, isn't it? In colour.
I've got no problems with the colours. It's just that it's this block, that block. Because sponsors say that there's no...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would prefer more.
I can't disagree.
And it's the exact same thing with the Alpine. The pink's been slapped on as an afterthought, just like the lighter blue and the white on the Williams. Like the only thing saving the Williams is the Duracell airbox, because that's been brilliant since it arrived.
I think that was only originally supposed to be a one-off, wasn't it?
Yeah. And everyone went, that's fantastic. Keep
genius.
it.
Just works. So, yeah. Do you want to see mine?
Go on then.
I've put it up now. You'll have to wait 10 seconds to see it. That's mine. There are disagreements in there. For sure.
Yeah, Mercedes doesn't quite get up to S. I actually don't like the stripes.
Oh, see, I do. I think that adds to it.
You've already got fade from the silver to the black with the stars. You don't need those as well.
We're not. Well, we are quite a way off actually in some areas, aren't we? I think Mercedes is an S tier livery. I think it's just enough to make it there, to lift it above, say, Cadillac, for example. I think it's better than Cadillac, so that's why I put it a tier above. I know you disagree on the Racing Bulls, but I really love that livery. I really do.
There's a bit too much of the dark blue on it this year. Last year there was more white across the bodywork.
I think that improves it to me.
It's a touch too messy now.
No, that's fair. No, it was cleaner last year, but I do think the darker blue adds something to it. With the way it's on the car, it's not like the Williams where they just put a block of blue on it. They've thought about it, and I actually really quite like it. Cadillac we agree on, which isn't a great surprise. We agree on Red Bull and Haas because I mean we have eyes. Our middle picks, the B, Ferrari. I'm not a big fan of the white overall. I like you say, I like what they're doing, and the nod to what will always be to me the louder liveries. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I like that
312T.
Yeah, but I don't. It's just not been done quite right.
What they needed to do was also do the wings white, so that it's got more of that element. Because if you think back to those cars of the 70s, 312T, the wings were just bare aluminium.
Yeah.
So it would balance it out a bit more, because the big black bit on the bottom of the side pods, like I said earlier, and the wings is just kind of sucking your eyes away from what should be a really nice livery.
I mean, thinking about it now, I'm quite surprised you didn't go S tier with the Racing Bulls just for the white rims. Would you put the rims on their own in the S tier?
Gets a bonus. Yes, absolutely. Maybe we should do that, a random stream of ranking F1 wheels. Who's had the best wheels over history?
Don't give us ideas, because we will. Just very quickly, see you later, Biles. Have a good one, mate. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Back to your favourite pub. Funny, very quickly. There is a channel on the Discord that we've got called the Pit Lane Pub. And I do wonder if that would have been quite a cool name for the channel, but here we are now. So we could always do streams that are called that, where maybe on a Friday or something. I don't know. We'll have the Pit Lane Pub. We'll see. Yeah. But I'll ask Thomas if that's okay. He'll have to send me some beer, though, as he promised. The other thing that I know we're very different on is the Alpine. I've put it in the B tier, but bottom of the B tier, if that makes sense. I put it at the end of the B tier. It's not well in there, but I just think if I'm looking at the Audi, the Aston Martin, and the blocky colours on the Williams, I think the Alpine's slightly above them. So it's either bottom of the B or top of the C, if that makes sense. But I just think it is fundamentally the same livery as last year, and I do wish they'd lean into, like Red Raven was saying earlier, into the Force India pink days rather than this. What did you call it? Was it Identity Crisis? Red Raven called it something like that. I think I would prefer them to lean to the pink, but I do like the blue and the pink, which is funny because when we saw it launched last year at F1 Live, we all went, oh my God, what the hell is that? Then we saw it on track and went, that works. That actually works. So I do quite like that. Audi and Aston Martin, I mean, I can't, everything you said about Williams is exactly why it's down there for me, but Audi is awful. And for the minute I saw it's awful. I will say, slightly better on track than in the photos, but that is a bit like picking between gonorrhea and syphilis. So and the Aston Martin is just, we're painted green, and that's basically it. I can't even see on the Aston. I'll just have a look at XPB quickly, but I don't even think, because when they first rejoined F1 and they had the pink, because they still had the deal with BWT, and then they replaced that with those green flashes on the front wing. They're not even there anymore. And they were quite cool. I like them.
Like we said, they are on the real car, not on this render.
Oh, are they? Did I miss that?
There are some of those bits. Yeah. Well, the long stripe that goes along the body, so it comes like on the bottom edge of the green for the nose, and then under the side pods.
Oh, is it a bit like the Petronas stripe used to be on the Mercedes?
Yeah.
A little bit like that, yeah.
Yeah, that is back on the real car.
Not on the front wing, though.
It would have been... Can't remember. I haven't seen it enough.
Don't want to look at it.
But it would have been higher a bit, probably higher in the C if that had been there on this picture.
Yeah.
But the Audi is just... they really could... And like you said, the intakes look fantastic. So keep that really bright day-glow red-orange. Have that little pinstripe around the wheel rim. There's an instant bonus. Maybe around the edges of like the rear wing end plates, front wing end plates. Use it as a highlight, just an edge highlight for things. Really make it look dynamic. I mean, what they should have done is get rid of the silver, right? Have the car black, but then go over all the details just with that red, like they've done on the intake. So it looks like the Encom helicopter in Tron. That would look fantastic. In fact, someone needs to do that with a race car.
It's the law. Jonty has spoken. Yeah, nothing really. I think that's my list. I've got nothing else to add. I don't think we're that different, are we? There is a couple of slight disagreements, but I think largely everyone agrees that. I think someone said chat a minute ago. If your the favourite team begins with A, you need to have a word because they're all pretty terrible, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Aston Martin that bothers me. Because I do like the Aston Martin colour and the branding, but it's not working. It's not working. But one thing on liveries before we wrap up, whilst it's not the perfect rule, the rule they brought in for paint jobs this year has definitely improved them. Definitely.
Yes.
A lot of the exposed carbon has been pushed to sort of below the side pods, hasn't it, rather than or under the side pods rather than halfway down the car, except for McLaren. Although how much of that is carbon on the McLaren, how much is paint on the black? I'd be interested to know. We might have a proper look later in the week or next week. We've got a bit more time to see the cars on track, because that's why they went black, was for that to be carbon, wasn't it? So
yeah, so it has to be paint. Certainly on like the engine cover.
Yeah, that's good then. It's definitely an improvement on what we've seen in recent years, so that's good. But I'll put your guys' list back up because that's the one you voted for. So
I think that's my issue with the Ferrari. You can clearly tell they've gone the absolute minimum. They've gone to the lesser of the law requirement.
Yeah.
Right. 70%. Right. This car has got, 70.001% of it is painted. I think McLaren have got the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whereas others have just gone, right, we've got to paint it. Fine, we're going to paint it.
There you go. I've got nothing else to add to that. So that's your list. That's your list of Rivery rankings. Livery. Next week we're ranking rivers. There's only one winner. Burton upon Trent, I guess. There you go. How do you feel? A couple of quick questions then, or comments, and then we'll leave it there. So, how do you feel about Alpine leaving WEC, and what does it mean for their F1 future, says Gingerfest? The Enstone team annoys me quite a bit. I'm gutted that we haven't got Renault in. I know they're a bit come and go. They do it a lot, but I feel like another manufacturer would have been nice, but they've gone with Mercedes, which I sort of understand, but I think that as a team is a mess at the minute, and it sounds like it's only going to get worse. There could be dark horses, though, Jonty, in F1 this year, Alpine, with the Mercedes power unit, if they've got the car right, but I don't know much about their exit from WEC. I'm assuming, was that money-driven, I assume?
Yeah.
Not political.
It's always money-driven with Renault, isn't it?
Didn't know if there'd been a falling out politically with the bosses or whatever at the top of WEC, but... yeah, definitely money. Pascal, who is, of course, the Audi fan, says the Audi livery has grown on me. At the end of the day, the car needs to be quick to score points, regardless of livery. And that's ultimately the argument, isn't it? We'll look at these liveries now and say, that's awful. But if that Audi's the car to beat, it'll suddenly look like a good car. So suddenly you sort of go, all right, fair enough. But the Audi won't be the quickest car this year. But I hope they do well. I hope Cadillac do well as well. Fully expecting Cadillac to turn up to Australia as the team at the back. The slowest, but I don't expect them to be 6 or 7 seconds off the pace or anything, so we'll see how that goes. Stewie says my favourite colour is green, so I'm biased for Aston. Pit Lane Pub actually sounds amazing. Thomas says we can use the name, so maybe that could be a stream idea. I don't go out on a Friday night anymore because I'm poor and nobody wants to talk to me, apart from you lot.
We'll have to get green screens so that we can chroma key ourselves out and just put us in a pub.
Yeah. We have to bring beer, though. We have to drink on stream.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a pub. I'm not drinking soft drinks in a pub.
Well, then we could get chat each week to recommend a beer that we have to try the next week.
Well, City Planner Plays, who I watch, Phil. I love Phil. He's brilliant. He gets a couple of beers every week, and he gets a chat to vote on which one. Well, he usually gets the chat to vote on which one he's going to drink, but it always ends up being which one's he going to start with, because he's usually drinking the second one by the end of the stream. So it's good interaction. So yeah.
Well, they used to do that on Dignation as well. Hello, Internet from 2008.
Christ. Do you know, random thought. I can't remember what it was on yesterday. Somebody on TV mentioned 2028, and I can't remember what it was for, and I can't comprehend in my stupid brain that 2028 is 2 years ago. Now, I know 6 + 2 is 8, but I'll see something from 2004 and think that was yesterday, and 2028 still feels like about 40 years away. Like, I'm still expecting everyone to be in silver suits in 2028, and we'll be in flying cars, but my mind can't comprehend that, and it's so stupid, and I know why. It's just an age thing, but yeah. That random point over. Red Raver says I'll even sponsor it. There you go. The start of Sean's VTuber era. I am getting a new camera, so that'll be fun. And
you say things like that, but I mean, November just gone. The Xbox 360 was 20 years old.
Don't
November
lie.
coming. The PlayStation 3 will be 20 years old.
Don't lie.
And same day as my partner yesterday, Final Fantasy VIII was 27 years old. Sorry, it's ridiculous.
The PlayStation 3, fun
Totally
fact.
not a Final Fantasy fan.
I say fun fact. PlayStation
was
3
crap.
was the first thing I bought on finance. The PlayStation 3. I don't know why.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, why did I pay for that on finance? Why did I buy it in the first place? I don't know.
Although I would kill for one of the original 60 gig ones right now. So I've got a single console backwards compatible with the 2 and the 1.
Mm.
Assuming it stays alive for more than 3 minutes.
I saw, and I can't find it now, a comment I was going to read just to get us back onto F1. Britain says if Cadillac could beat the 107% rule, it's a win. I think they should be all right. They should be fine. If Aston Martin could be 4.5 seconds off and still within it, they should be okay. The Audi livery needs to be in its own F tier. The orange at the back is disgusting, says Sam Mariners fan. I think it's supposed to be red, but in a lot of renders, it does look closer to an orange than a red. I will say that. It's definitely red on track.
It's a fluorescent red.
Yeah.
So it will mess around with cameras a lot.
But it looks crap.
It looks like... You remember when they were first doing the big marketing push for the 2022 regulations, and they had that mule car that they wheeled around, and the floor was painted that colour? I'd love to see someone do that. That looked great. I guess it never happened. Paint waste stuff.
I guess it's branding, so it's not a surprise. But actually, that concept livery that Audi did when they first announced they were joining, that's the same colour scheme, isn't it?
Yeah, that was better as well.
Yeah, that was better.
That was a much better livery.
Not even close. It just was. You are... so Perksy says you are 22 until you're 40, and then you're 32 until you're 60. Yeah. Do we have permission to insult 18 to 19-year-olds for calling you old? Yeah, go on then. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm not old.
Oh, Christ.
I'm not old.
I don't know if anyone has been watching like the Winter Olympics and stuff, but during the opening ceremony on Friday, my God, it was the most painful "you're old" moment I think I've heard in a long time. Because as they're all the athletes are coming in, being introduced, and the commentary saying, I think it was Australia, saying with their youngest competitor who turned 16 last Saturday. Yep, that's right. This snowboarder was born in 2010. Someone born in 2010 is competing at the Olympics. Piss off.
Arvid Lindblad's only 18, mate.
Yeah, I know.
He would have been born after Lewis Hamilton made his debut.
Yes.
And on that note,
hang on. How many Here's a quick. How many of the current grid made their F1 debut? Were born after Alonso made his debut.
Oh, Bearman, definitely. Hadjar, I assume.
Lindblad.
Lindblad. Antonelli obviously would have been.
Antonelli.
Piastri?
Yeah, he's 22, 23.
Oh, now you've opened up a can of worms. I'm going to move the tier list
Possibly
and use
even
my browser.
Possibly even Lando. Bortoletto, yeah. Yeah, possibly even Lando.
F1 driver ages. Look what you've done. Look at what you've done. So Alonso's
no, not Lando.
806.
Yes, he is that many years old. He feels like he's that old.
I don't want to click on a Planet F1 article now if I can avoid it.
This is what happens, chat.
Welcome. I'm not going on there. I just wanted a page with ages, please. That's 2022. That's no use to me. Come on, Google. The youngest drivers, Antonelli's 19, Arvid Lindblad's 18, Bearman's 20, Bortoletto 21, Isack Hadjar 21. So 2001 was 3 weeks ago. In real years, it was
Bortoletto,
25.
Hadjar, Antonelli, Lawson, Piastri, Bearman, Colapinto. Seven of the current grid were born after Alonso made his debut.
So Alonso debuted in 2001, didn't he? So there is an argument for Piastri. Yeah. Don't know when his birthday is. Lawson, Colapinto, Hadjar, Bortoletto, Bearman, and so it's 7 or 8. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Piastri's 6th of April.
I hate the sport. Never watching it again. Oh well, you've made me feel crap. So there we go. That was a good little rabbit hole to go down. The best one is still, and we have to beat that this year, was last year. I think it was either me and you or me and Stuart, and we were talking about Eddie Irvine and the Irish flag, and we ended up in an hour later on Jock and Rint for something, just by Googling and Wikipedia and all of that, and it was. That's why I love these streams. That's it. That's a lot of people. Alonso raced against Jos Verstappen, didn't he? Well, I said yesterday, Fernando Alonso raced against against Michael Schumacher, beat him to a title, 2 titles technically, I suppose, but really 2006, and he's raced with Michael Schumacher's son. That's how old Fernando is. Love him.
Yeah. And Jos and Max.
Yeah. Keke and Nico, Graham and Damon.
No, he hasn't raced with Keke.
Oh, he must have done. He's that old. I should say, actually, to be fair, just on the age thing, right? I'm calling Fernando Alonso old. He's 4 years older than me. Jonty's got a Google on. And then we will wrap up, I promise. We'll wrap up at 5. There you go. We'll do what we did yesterday. We'll go to 5 as people tune in and then run away when they realise what they've clicked on. My God.
No, there's definitely 3 father-son pairings that Alonso has raced against because he's raced against Jan Magnussen at Le Mans.
Yes. And then K-Mag in F1.
Yep. Wow. So, I mean, maybe there was Keke. I can't remember. I don't know when if he did any.
No, I don't think so. I do just want to pick up on a comment here, though, because it reminds me of something, and it's Golf Ball says, I think the words Jos and race are 2 words that don't belong together. Now, the reason that jumps out to me is because I remember Murray Walker saying that he'd heard, or there'd been conversation in the paddock about how Jos Verstappen was as quick or had the potential to be as good as Ayrton Senna, and Martin Brundle pretty much shut that down with something along the lines of, well, they don't know what they're talking about, or he's not that good, or they can't hold a candle to him, and I was like, yeah. Comparing Jos Verstappen to Ayrton Senna, come on, Murray. I loved you, but no. There ain't many, if any, you can compare to Senna. So, will anyone be in listening to Mad World whilst crying themselves to sleep after this stream. Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend, and all that. What did you find, Jonty? I saw you Googling, so I'm intrigued. Then we are definitely going to wrap up in a minute, I promise.
No, that was it. I mean, I thought of the Jan Magnussen one, and I'm trying to think which other older F1 drivers might have still been doing endurance when Alonso did.
Bloody hell. And what a career, though.
There could be more yet. I'll have to look. See if I can find any more.
Hopefully you can make it tomorrow. Then you'll have this whole list of here's everyone that Fernando Alonso's raced against. 6 hours later, he's halfway down the list. We'll pick this up next week.
Well, not everyone is raced against. Just
let's.
Well, I mean, well, hang on, what year is this? In 2019, Le Mans, he had 2 other former F1 drivers in his car as well. So,
right,
I'm gonna figure this out now.
Final comments from chat then for the day. Get them in quickly, and then we'll wrap up from there. But Golf Ball says, think about this. Much of the field are younger than Alonso's last title, which is true. 2006. There you go. Lando is a 90s kid. He's like, Lando Norris is one of those who's older than you think he should be. Alonso and Hamilton race against Schumacher and his son. Yeah, Hamilton as well. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Because Schumacher came back, which was good in the sense that it made a lot of people appreciate him for what and who he was. But also, I think he would have been fine if he just retired after 2006, to be honest. But there you go. At least I was alive playing with Lego at the time. There you go. Imagine if Lando had a child in the 2000s, could have been the first father and son on the same grid. Yeah, for God's sake, Fernando.
Yeah.
Goodness me. And I know, where's the other question? I saw one a moment ago. Love you guys. Take care. 2026, let's go. Absolutely can't wait, Britain. Looking forward to this season. We'll definitely come back to that tomorrow, CPB. Ask us tomorrow because I'm going to wrap up now. Size of Canvas wants tea and biscuits. Sounds like a great idea. And Sad Mariners fan who's not from Grimsby says, a note to end on, we're closer to 2050 than 2000. And I'm off to yeet myself off a bridge. Thanks for that, Sad Mariners fan. You've made my day. Looking at chat again. Anything you want to finish on, Jonty, from the testing? We have had testing today. But I'm still quite annoyed that we don't get to watch more than just the last hour because it does make these streams a little bit awkward, but also we can get some of the nonsense out of our system now, can't we, and prepare for next week when we actually can watch it. But
yeah, right.
I'm joking.
The nonsense will go up to 11 next week.
Yeah. Anything you want to sign off on?
All the assorted questions that people have been asking, like top 5 F1 liveries, you're going to be watching F2, F3, just go to the posts on the community tab and add it. Add it to the questions for next week.
I check it every morning so I get added to the wheel.
Yeah. If these first 3 days have been, first 2 days have been anything to go on, there's probably going to be a fair few stoppages.
Yeah.
So we'll need to fill that time.
We've got plenty, but yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. Also looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully, you could join me tomorrow, Jonty. But absolutely zero pressure. I can solo it if I need to. It's not a biggie. I don't know if you noticed, but I can bloody talk. So it's not generally a problem. But I appreciate your company today, mate. It was a lot of fun and a nice little warm up for what is going to be ridiculous next week. But at least we get to watch the cars all day next week as well. So that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
All right then, mate. Take care, and I was gonna say I might talk to you tomorrow, but even if I don't stream with you tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you at some point tomorrow. So take care, mate, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, and I won't be sticking around because I've got to go to the shop.
Hey, that's fine, mate. That's fine. I've got to go do tea or dinner.
See you later.
So yeah, see you later, mate. Thank you.
Bye, chat.
Or that's me, double me. You got double me. Look at that. How generous was that? Not quite so generous. Double me. That's a lot of Sean. Yes, thank you very much everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Lower numbers than yesterday as expected for the second day of testing, but you were all here that want to be here, and I appreciate your company. It's been a lot of fun as always. Lots of waffle, lots of chat, and of course we'll be back again tomorrow. So before you go, please do drop a like on it. We're 20 away from 100. That seems unlikely, but if we can get anywhere near that, that'd be amazing. We might do it later when people watch on catch up. But yeah, appreciate your support today. Please drop a like before we go, and subscribe if you're new. We're live again tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. GMT, and then we are live Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week, 7 a.m. GMT until 4 p.m. GMT. Ish, 5 or 10 minutes either side. I've got Stuart with me 8 till 12ish, and then I've got Jonty 12ish till 4ish each day next week as well. So get your questions on the community tab, get subscribed, lots to come, and thank you once again for helping us get well through 1,000 subscribers yesterday. That means a lot. Every milestone on the new channel really does hit home. It's just nice to reminisce about the days when it mattered quite a lot on the F1 word, and now it matters here. So yeah, really appreciate your support. You can also become a channel member or support on Patreon, link in the description as always. But if there's nothing else, I will see you tomorrow. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been Formula Sean. Nearly did it again. And until tomorrow, goodbye.